Chapter 925. Medicine Union Castle Main Hall. This place was resplendent and majestic. 9 dragon pillars stood tall, and the dragon patterns on the pillars were vivid and lifelike, as if they could come to life at any time. The might of the dragon was abundant. The ceiling of the main hall was inlaid with 9 saint pearls that were like stars. The power of the stars was vast and mighty, and dense profound chi pervaded every corner. In the center of the main hall, there were 3 emperor jade dragon chairs, and the noble aura was unmistakable. These 3 seats were where the 3 Vice Alliance masters sat. Behind these 3 seats, there was a luxurious soft couch with dragons and phoenixes carved on it. The noble aura of the supreme seat was even greater than that of the 3 Vice Alliance masters. That was the supreme seat of the Alliance Master. Below the hall, there were 2 rows of jade chairs. Each chair was a true saint item, and only the Saint Elder could sit on them. Other than these jade chairs, there were no other seat. Those who were not saint alchemists could only stand here. The Saint Elder conferring ceremony was held here. The deputy leader, Miao Miao Chi, sat in the middle of the 3 deputy leaders. He supported his resolute face with one hand, and his old eyes were closed like a sleeping dragon. No one dared to disturb him. The Saint Elders who came in gradually didn't even dare to breathe loudly. They carefully sat in their corresponding seat. The other Saint Alchemists who could enter even bowed and stayed in place humbly. They were afraid that they would accidentally make a sound and disturb the person sitting on the main seat. This kind of scene, this kind of atmosphere really made people feel uncomfortable. Yang Wu was still on his way. Qing Feng held his hand and followed old Zui into the hall. Along the way, many people gathered and looked at Yang Wu with respect and adoration. Every single holy elder was extremely noble, and it was the goal they pursued their entire lives. There were many female alchemists here, and they were all different in terms of beauty. When they saw Yang Wu, they all became infatuated. Wow, is he Yang Wu the Saint Alchemist? He's so handsome and so young. I'm infatuated. That's right. His temperament is really good. He's not at all like the other alchemists. He's really too good-looking. I heard that he's only in his early 20s. I'm older than him by a whole 200 years. If I were to marry him, wouldn't I be called an old cow eating young grass? Outstanding talent and handsome. Who wouldn't love such a young man? Even sleeping with him for a night would be worth it. After being conferred the title today, he will surpass eldest senior sister and become the youngest saint alchemist in the history of the Alliance. I'm afraid that no one will be able to surpass his record in the future. The demoness beside him is so annoying. Why is she holding on to my Prince Charming's arm? The Apothecary Alliance accommodated all the apothecaries in the world, regardless of whether they were male or female. As long as they had the talent for alchemy, they could apply. Here, 2/3 of the alchemists were male and 1/3 of the alchemists were female. It wasn't all men's world. They liked alchemists who were more outstanding than them in the field of alchemy. Like Yang Wu, who was so outstanding in alchemy and so handsome, which female alchemist could resist his temptation? Yang Wu looked at their burning gazes and felt that they were like a pack of hungry wolves. They wanted nothing more than to pounce on him and eat him alive. Now you know why I'm holding on to you. I'm afraid that you'll be mesmerized by them and forget about home. I'm not interested in you. Qing Feng transmitted to Yang Wu. Yang Wu agreed. Big Sister Feng is right. I feel that they're too savage. After pausing for a moment, he added, but I believe that my willpower can deal with them. In the next moment, his waist was twisted into a fried dough twist. The pain made him grimace. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Yang Wu finally arrived in front of the main hall under the guidance of Old Drunkard. There were 2 rows of mighty guards standing in front of the main hall. They all wore shining armor and held spears in their hands. They all had the aura of the dragon transformation realm and were full of battle intent. With these 108 guards, if they worked together, they could definitely slaughter a star-ruined saint. Yang Wu couldn't help but sigh at the strength of the apothecary alliance in front of such a welcoming team. If he was a little more cowardly, he might not be able to walk through the line. He raised his tall and straight waist, like a true dragon appearing in the world, and walked towards the main hall with his head held high. From today onwards I, Yang Wu, will sweep through the transcendent realm. Little He, Shou Ho, if you hear my name, you'll definitely be happy for me, right? Yang Wu thought to himself proudly. At this moment, Little He and Shou Ho became the people he missed the most. Without Little He, he wouldn't be who he was today. Without Shou Ho, he wouldn't have been able to rise up in the prison field. He wanted to share his joy with them. Of course, there was also his wife, Yu Yu, and his brother, Yang Wen. Unknowingly, he stepped into the main hall that was like a small space. Many gazes looked at him at the same time. Some were surprised, some were envious, and some were jealous. Yang Wu ignored all of this and walked towards the center with the drunk old man. The drunk old man was no longer drunk. He said loudly, "Vice Alliance Leader Miao, the new Saint Apothecary Yang Wu is here." After saying this, he consciously stepped aside and let Yang Wu face Miao Miaochi. Yang Wu glanced at Miao Miaochi. He felt that the other party was like a black furnace. His aura was too shocking. He couldn't see what the other party looked like at all. He hurriedly bowed and said, "Greetings, Vice Alliance Leader." Miao Miaochi's status was too high. He was able to sit on the same level as the top few people in the transcendent realm. Yang Wu couldn't help but respect him. Miao Miaochi opened his eyes. Two rays of light that were like the sun landed on Yang Wu's body. It was as if he could see through all of Yang Wu's secrets at this moment. Yang Wu, 23 years old, from the Battle Race's Yang family. Bronze Green Class Saint Apothecary. Elder Zui has recommended him to become a Saint Elder. The Alchemy Hall has already confirmed his rank. Do Saint Elders agree? Miao Miaochi's voice faintly rang out. There were a total of 33 Saint Apothecaries present. The number was shocking. Even a first-rate faction might not have a single Saint Apothecary present. 33 of them had come all of a sudden, as expected of the Transcendent Realms Alchemist Alliance. Most of the Saint Apothecaries present replied, "Agreed." Immediately after, a different voice rang out, "I don't agree." This voice was extremely clear. It was like an oriole singing in the morning. The sound lingered in the air and was very pleasant to listen to. Everyone's gaze shifted to the last row, only to see a peerless beauty standing out in front of everyone. She was very tall, even taller than the average man. Even if Yang Wu stood in front of her, she would not be shorter than him. Her hair was tied up, and there were bangs that fell down, covering a part of her bright forehead. Her beautiful face without a trace of makeup was like a pebble that had been polished countless times. It was tender, smooth, and rosy. The towering area in front of her chest was also outstanding, and there was a kind of boldness that made it seem like she was looking down on all mountains. Half of her slender legs were exposed, and they were as white and tender as ivory. Her sparkling jade skin exuded a water-like charm. No matter where she sat, as long as she stood up, she would be like an empress looking down on all living things. Everyone would have to lower their arrogant heads in front of her. When Yang Wu saw this woman for the first time, he immediately felt her innate charm that could turn all living things upside down, as well as a spirit that looked down on all things. This kind of spirit that was born in a woman was definitely extremely rare. Consort Ji, why don't you agree? The cold Miao Miao strangely revealed a trace of a faint smile as she asked. This woman was the #1 beauty of the Apothecary Union. She was also the #1 Wonder Woman, Chao Jifei. She was also the youngest Saint Apothecary before Yang Wu appeared. She was not even 100 years old, but she had become a Saint Apothecary. Many young Saint Apothecaries could not raise their head. These young Saint Apothecaries were all very talented, and they would be nurtured with all their strength in any faction. Unfortunately, they did not have the slightest bit of confidence in front of her. Only the peerless saint apothecaries of the previous generation dared to stand in front of her. Her position in the apothecary union was also not to be underestimated. She was the youngest disciple of the current union master, and she was also called the last disciple by Xiang Dingtian. This meant that he could not accept another outstanding disciple like Chao Jifei, so he did not plan to accept another disciple. Chao Jifei was born with the fate of an empress, but she was born in an ordinary family. After she was born, she cursed the death of her entire family, and was once considered a jink. It was not until she was discovered by Xiang Dingtian and taken in as a disciple that she revealed her powerful fate. Among her peers, whether it was in alchemy or martial arts, she showed off her strength in alchemy and martial art. She was able to suppress all the other saint apothecaries of the same generation. Xiang Dingtian once said, "This woman will be able to take over my position." With this sentence, the next union master of the apothecary union was basically dead in the coffin. There were already people privately calling her young union master, but she preferred people to call her eldest senior sister. She was the last of Xiang Dingtian's 9 disciples. Being called little junior sister by her senior brothers and sisters made her very unhappy. Therefore, she wanted everyone to call her eldest senior sister. Chao Jifei met Miao Miaoqi's gaze and replied, "Vice Union Master Miao, I doubt his ability as a saint apothecary, so I do not agree to let him become the holy elder unless he can prove that he is worthy of the bronze-green badge." After a pause, she looked at Elder Zue and said, "Martial Uncle Zue, I am not doubting your judgment. I am just afraid that you will be tricked if you drink too much." Chao Jifei's voice was very pleasant to the ears, but it carried an aura of power. Facing Miao Miaoqi and Elder Zue, she was not afraid at all. Yang Wu could not help but look at this woman in a new light. However, he did not understand why she was against him. Could it be that she was doubting his ability based on her inner doubts? Holy Elder Ji Fei is right. Even if this person is a saint apothecary, his age is questionable. I suspect that he is deliberately hiding his true age to deceive the Union. I suggest that we investigate this matter thoroughly. We cannot make a rash decision. Xing Yashang stood out and objected at the right time. At the same time, 3 other saint apothecaries also voiced their doubts. The situation changed instantly. Chapter 926. It was rare for a holy elder to make a mistake. A top-level holy elder would personally verify and issue the badge. After the alchemy hall confirmed it, the appointment would usually go smoothly. Old man Zue thought that Xing Yashang would step out to stop it, but with his prestige in the alliance, he didn't have the ability to interfere. He never thought that Chao Jifei would step out to question him and Yang Wu, giving Xing Yashang a chance to make trouble. He was sure that Chao Jifei's involvement in this matter was definitely due to Xing Yashang fanning the flames. Otherwise, Chao Jifei wouldn't have raised such a question. Chao Jifei was an extremely magnanimous woman. Old man Zue knew this. "Jifei, are you suspecting that Martial Uncle's eyes are blurred? It seems that Martial Uncle has doted on you for nothing," Old man Zue said with heartache. "Martial Uncle Zue, true gold fears no fire. It's not difficult to make him a holy elder. Just have him refine a furnace of holy pills for us. This request isn't too difficult, right?" Chao Jifei suggested. "That's not difficult, but if you do that, where will Martial Uncle's face go?" Old man Zue said with a trace of dissatisfaction. Being able to verify whether or not he's a holy alchemist is more important than Martial Uncle's face. If he really is a holy alchemist, I'll personally apologize to Martial Uncle. If not, then we'll deal with him according to the Alliance's rules," Chao Jifei said firmly. She showed off her elegance as an empress. Even old man Zue couldn't do anything about it. The other holy elders all knew that Chao Jifei meant what she said and couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. Holy Elder Jifei is right. True gold fears no fire. Vice Alliance Master, please make the decision, Xing Yishang said again. Miao Miao Qi looked at Old Man Zui and asked, "What do you think?" "Don't ask me. If you want to ask Yang Wu. I recommended him. I've personally seen him refine many furnaces of holy pills. This is definitely not fake. If you want him to refine a furnace for you, I can't make the decision," Old Man Zui said shamelessly. He had some understanding of Yang Wu's character. He was definitely not a guy who would be easily manipulated. Let's see how he would resolve this himself. When Miao Miaoqi looked at Yang Wu said calmly, "Can I not be the Holy Elder?" All of a sudden, everyone was stunned. The position of Sacred Elder was extremely rare in the Apothecary Alliance. Not just any Sacred Apothecary would have such qualifications. Only Sacred Apothecaries with outstanding alchemy abilities or Sacred Apothecaries with astonishing potential would have the qualifications to be recommended for the position of Sacred Elder. Once such qualifications were obtained, they would have an additional protective status in the Transcendence world. If others wanted to touch them, they would have to consider the ability behind them. Apart from that, he could also enjoy the various benefits of the Apothecary Alliance. For example, purchasing medicinal herbs and pills would be a piece of cake. Furthermore, he could also enjoy great discounts. This was an advantage that no other organization could compare to. Who knew how many people would break their heads to obtain such a position? Yet Yang Wu had actually retreated and refused to be a Sacred Elder. This truly shocked everyone. Xing Yashang was the first to react. "Hee, are you afraid that your identity will be exposed, so you're choosing to run away? Your choice is truly wise." Yang Wu ignored Xing Yashang. He didn't even bother to look at him. At this time, Chao Jifei finally looked at Yang Wu. In these 2 months, Yang Wu had caused quite a commotion. It was difficult for her not to pay attention to him. She had reason to believe that a person who could cause 10,000 pill recipes to choose their master was a Sacred Apothecary. If he didn't even have this level of cultivation, then how could he cause the pill recipes to choose their master? Thinking back to when she first became a Sacred Apothecary, she also caused quite a commotion. However, compared to Yang Wu's commotion, it was slightly smaller. Moreover, it was isolated by her master, so not many people in the outside world knew about it. The reason she wanted to test Yang Wu's strength as a Sacred Apothecary was because she wanted to see with her own eyes what kind of ability Yang Wu had to be able to attract the pill recipes to choose him. This was clearly a sign of success in alchemy. As long as he continued to accumulate, he would be able to reach large success in alchemy. Who would have thought that Yang Wu wouldn't take the bait? She had to take a good look at whether this guy was really stupid or just pretending to be stupid. When she first saw Yang Wu, he gave her a good impression of him. He was quite handsome, but she had seen a lot of men like him and was already immune to them. When she saw him for the second time, she felt that this guy was quite arrogant. In this kind of situation, he wasn't like those who had just become Sacred Elders in the past, who were pretending to be strong. There weren't many who were as calm as this guy. "Yang Wu, what are you trying to do? If they want to see you refine pills, then refine them. If they want to test your bone age, then let them. This old man believes that you won't be afraid of this little challenge." Old Man Zui looked at Yang Wu and said. He didn't want Yang Wu to be excluded from the alliance. That would be a great loss to the alliance. Another Sacred Elder said, "Since he doesn't care for the position of Sacred Elder, then let him scram." This was a bad-tempered alchemist who had been roped in by Xing Yishang. Another person said, "People with a guilty conscience don't dare to show their abilities. Old Man Zui, I think you really drank too much this time to recommend him." "Bullshit, do you think this old man is someone who doesn't know his limits?" Old Man Zui scolded angrily. He then looked at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, show them a few moves and give them a good slap in the face for me." "Not interested," Yang Wu said indifferently. He paused for a moment and then said, If there's nothing else, then I'll take my leave. After saying this, he didn't want to say anything else and turned to walk out of the hall. Everyone looked at Yang Wu, who was so straightforward, and were all dumbfounded. Young people really are impulsive. After stepping out of this door, he will lose his position as a sacred elder. That's good. Xing Yishang was very satisfied in his heart. The sacred alchemists who had a good impression of Yang Wu felt that it was a pity. They had seen the pill recipe choose its owner with their own eyes. Yang Wu had condensed his pill Dao and had a bright future ahead of him. This isn't a place where you can come and go as you please, Miao Miaochi said faintly. Suddenly, Yang Wu couldn't move. A terrifying aura enveloped him, and he couldn't move at all. Old Miao, don't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive. Old Man Zui hurriedly advised. Miao Miaochi ignored Old Man Zui and asked Yang Wu, "What will it take for you to be willing to refine pills?" Everyone present was stunned. They didn't expect Miao Miaochi to use a negotiating tone with Yang Wu. This was unusual. Vice Alliance leader Miao was famous for being old-fashioned. He did everything according to the rules. No matter who it was, they didn't matter in front of him. Today, he was so polite to Yang Wu. It seemed that only Chao Jifei had such treatment. It's not impossible for me to refine pills, but I have two conditions, Yang Wu said as he turned around. What conditions? Miao Miaochi asked in surprise. Other than Chao Jifei, it seemed that many young people didn't dare to speak to him like this. It was quite interesting. First, whoever questions my identity, if the result of my verification is out and there is no fraud, other than apologizing, you will also have to compensate. My request is not high, just 100 stalks of saint herbs or 10,000 low-grade saint stones will do. Second, this person who has repeatedly provoked me will compete with me. If he loses, he will give up the position of Holy Elder. If I lose, I am willing to cut off one of my arms and never refine pills again. Yang Wu said faintly. When he said the last sentence, he pointed at Xing Yashang. His eyes were filled with a thick chill. Everyone felt the ruthless aura released from Yang Wu's body. Their necks couldn't help but shrink as they exclaimed inwardly, "What a ruthless young man." Using one's arm and the future of alchemy as a wager, not everyone dared to do so. Xing Yashang didn't expect Yang Wu to turn the tables on him. However, he was a high-level sacred elder and a high-level sacred alchemist. How could he be afraid of a junior's provocation? "Are you sure you want to do this?" Xing Yashang asked. "Of course. The Yang and Xing families are sworn enemies. I will collect some interest from you first so you don't keep jumping around." "You are too annoying," Yang Wu said with incomparable confidence. If it wasn't for the trip to the pill recipe pavilion, he wouldn't have been so confident. "All right, I will fulfill your wish. Vice Alliance leader Miao, please make the decision," Xing Yashang said firmly. Would silver-green sacred alchemist be afraid of copper-green sacred alchemist? That was clearly not possible. Miao Miaochi nodded lightly and said, "All right, if you agree to the bet, then I will be the witness. Ji Fei and the three of you who object will each add 100 saint herbs or 10,000 low-grade saint stones." Miao Miaochi's words didn't allow anyone to object. Chao Jifei pursed her lips, not daring to say anything. In her heart, she hoped that this young man had the qualifications to take her 100 saint herbs. The other three sacred alchemists cursed in their hearts, "I hope this little bastard is just putting on an act." No one thought that a grand ceremony would turn into an alchemy bet. Everyone was curious as to where Yang Wu's confidence came from. Xing Yashang was a high-level sacred alchemist and had been at this level for hundreds of years. He already had the qualifications to become a top-level sacred alchemist. Yang Wu's actions were like throwing an egg against a rock. Aside from Chao Jifei, all of the sacred elders present were at the Star Rune realm. They could all see that Yang Wu was only at the early dragon transformation realm. No matter how amazing his alchemy talent was, it would be difficult for him to compare to Xing Yashang. They were all certain that the result of the competition had already been decided. Only old Zue was relatively calm. He had seen Yang Wu's alchemy skills and might not necessarily have no chance of winning. However, he couldn't help but worry. "Kid, why are you always so impulsive? What if you lose? Even if I throw away my old face, I might not be able to stop Xing Yashang from changing his mind." Yang Wu raised his chin, his eyes shining with confidence as he said, "Old Zue, believe in me." At this moment, he had thousands of pill recipes in his heart. He could become the world's best pill. Chapter 927. Yang Wu and Xing Yashang's bet was very crazy. The former would trade his alchemy future and an arm for the latter's position as a holy elder. This kind of bet was hard for any alchemist to accept, especially the former who had reached the Saint Alchemist realm at such a young age. If he were to lose an arm, it would be the same as giving up on his profession as an alchemist. The latter's loss was not small either. The position of Holy Elder was extremely rare in the Alchemist Alliance. If he lost this position, not only would he lose his reputation, but he would also lose many of his connections in the Alchemist Alliance. Moreover, he would not be able to enjoy the benefits of the Alchemist Alliance. This was a loss that could not be measured by a pile of spirit stones or saint stones. After this news spread out in the headquarters, everyone exclaimed in surprise. The youth who caused the phenomenon in the Alchemist Pavilion is a saint alchemist? And he wants to challenge Holy Elder Xing Yashang? Is this news confirmed? It's absolutely true. They will be competing in alchemy in 3 days. That youth is called Yang Wu and he is already ranked 45-55 on the Saint Alchemist rankings. If he's so powerful, why is he so impulsive? With his talent, he can definitely become a top Saint Alchemist in 100 years. Isn't that right? He can become a Saint Alchemist, so his heart should be extremely tough. Why would he want to gamble with Holy Elder Xing Yashang? I don't understand. Didn't you guys see the bounty list? Yang Wu is already in the top 10,000. The Yang and Xing families are like fire and water, so let's just watch the show. The ceremony ended before it even started. Old Man Zue quickly brought Yang Wu out of the hall. He was the one who brought Yang Wu here, so he did not want anything to happen to him. However, this matter still blew up. Yang Wu, what should I say to you? You still have a bright future ahead of you. Verifying your identity is nothing. With your ability, refining holy pills shouldn't be difficult. Could it be that you really faked your age? Old Man Zui anxiously said to Yang Wu. Yang Wu rolled his eyes at Old Man Zui and said, "You're the one who's faking it. Then why don't you dare verify my identity?" "Why should I verify your identity? You can become a holy elder of the Alchemist Alliance. With that status you can get whatever herbs you want. Even godly herbs won't be difficult as long as you have enough money. Moreover, you will be protected by the Alchemist Alliance. A holy alchemist has a noble status. Not just any holy alchemist can become a holy elder of our Alchemist Alliance. So what? No one here can take me seriously, right? That's because they look down on you. If they saw your talent in alchemy, they wouldn't be like this. Then it's settled. They will naturally see it in 3 days." Yang Wu went back to his room. Old Man Zue did not follow. He seemed to understand Yang Wu's plan and exclaimed in his heart, "This kid is a monster." Qing Feng followed Yang Wu into the house. "Sister Feng, I'm going to go into seclusion for the next 3 days. Yang Wu said to Qing Feng. "I won't take up your time. I just want to know if you have the confidence to win." Qing Feng seriously looked at Yang Wu and asked, "Of course I have confidence. Otherwise, why would I seek death?" Yang Wu said confidently, "It's good to have confidence. What if you fail miserably? Then I'll have to trouble Sister Feng to take me away from here. I don't have the ability to do that here." Qing Feng said frankly. She paused for a moment and then added, "But I can accompany you in death. After saying this, she turned and left Yang Wu's room. Yang Wu's heart was filled with warmth. Looking at that graceful figure, he said to himself, "Don't worry. How could I bear to let Sister Feng die?" Following this, Yang Wu really did prepare to go into seclusion. In the alchemy chamber, he had obtained 10,000 scrolls of alchemy recipes to choose their owners. These alchemy recipes had helped him further his alchemy path. He increasingly understood that alchemy would be more perfect in this way. Even though he was only in the dragon transformation realm, he could rely on his understanding of alchemy recipes and the use of herbs to create perfect alchemy. When he was in Confusion City, he had only refined a first tribulation holy pill, which was why he had obtained the bronze green badge. In reality, he already had the ability to refine a second tribulation holy pill, but the chances were lower. Over the next 3 days, he had to digest the insights he had gained from the 10,000 pill formulas and fuse them with the increased power of alchemy. Concocting a second tribulation pill wouldn't be difficult, which was equivalent to being a silver-level alchemist. That would make him close the gap between him and Xing Yashang. If he could further refine the medicinal ingredients and concoct an even better pill, he might have a chance of concocting a third tribulation pill. Although the chances were slim, he still wanted to try. Thus, he closed his eyes and began to meditate. He used his battle soul to digest the pill recipes he had gained from the alchemy pavilion. While Yang Wu was in seclusion on the other side of the castle, there was a clean and tidy pavilion. There were a few old trees planted in front of the pavilion. Under the trees there was a round table. When the moon came out at night, it was very suitable for drinking tea and chatting. This was where Chao Jifei lived. She was indeed different from ordinary girls. Ordinary girls liked to plant flowers and decorate their own places beautifully and elegantly. However, she pursued simplicity and elegance. Under the tree, a tall and handsome man spoke to Chao Jifei. His appearance was indeed impeccable. His square face, big eyes, thick eyebrows, and high nose were perfectly matched. His hair was short and neat. He wore a Saint Alchemist robe, and the shining bronze-green badge on his chest was very eye-catching. This was a green-level Saint Alchemist. He had an extraordinary position in the Alliance. "Junior sister, I heard that an interesting guy appeared today. Did he make you unhappy?" The handsome man asked Chao Jifei with concern. Chao Jifei met his gaze and replied, "Not to that extent. It's just that he's interesting." Yang Wu, a 23-year-old Saint Alchemist. He broke junior sister's record. This kind of guy isn't as simple as he looks. It's understandable that you stopped him from becoming a Saint Elder. If he doesn't know what's good for him, senior brother will teach him a lesson for you? The handsome man said. Chao Jifei said indifferently, "You don't have to worry about this. We'll know in 3 days. Moreover, there's no problem with his bone age. Vice Alliance Master Miao has already confirmed this." "Then you're willing to let Xing Yashang drive a wedge between you? This isn't your style," the handsome man said again. Chao Jifei revealed a smile that could topple cities and said, "When have you seen me so easily tricked? Let's just pray that he doesn't shoot himself in the foot this time." She then said, "I'm going back to my room to cultivate." She swayed her graceful figure as she returned to the pavilion. She only left a beautiful figure for the handsome man to remember. The handsome man stood there for a while before turning around to leave. Not long after, someone said in the dark, "Master, is there any meaning in continuing like this?" The handsome man smiled and replied, "It's quite interesting. I think it's too much of a waste of time. Master is so outstanding. You should be more direct. I believe she likes you too. You're thinking too much. She seems to be close to everyone, but in fact, no one has ever walked into her heart except for Master. Little junior sister is too arrogant. I have to slowly break through her defenses. Only then will she truly belong to me. Master, you have to be tough when you need to be. What's done can't be undone. I believe Master's master won't have any objections. If it were that simple, then it would be easy. Go and collect information on Yang Wu. You have to pay attention to this guy. Martial Uncle Zue definitely didn't bring him here for such a simple reason. In another pavilion, Xing Yashang was currently gathered with 2 other saint alchemists. These 2 saint alchemists were iron green level saint alchemists. They were good friends of Xing Yashang and were called Zhong Feng and Wang Yuling. Zhong Feng was an old saint alchemist. Being able to reach this step was already his limit. If he wanted to go any further, it would be extremely difficult. He was able to reach the saint realm all because of the accumulation of pills. Moreover, he could only refine some ordinary saint pills and had never succeeded in refining a batch of 1 tribulation pills. He had long since become accustomed to this and no longer hoped for any room for improvement. Wang Yuling was much younger than Zhong Feng and was also a newly promoted saint elder. He was the result of Xing Yashang's recommendation and was also one of Xing Yashang's loyal followers. Yang Wu is just a brat who hasn't even grown his hair yet he dares to provoke Master. His brain must have been clamped by a donkey's butt. Zhong Feng said coarsely. Wang Yuling said with a faint smile, it's Master's plan that led that brat to take the bait. Competing with Master in alchemy is simply seeking death. Xing Yashang took a sip of tea and said with a smile, that brat caused a phenomenon in the alchemy pavilion. It's not as simple as you think. He's definitely not an impulsive and brainless guy. Could it be that he can come up with a countermeasure? Zhong Feng asked. He made a bet in front of Vice Alliance leader Miao. What countermeasure could he come up with? He overestimated his alchemy ability. He thinks that just because he condensed his alchemy, he can look down on everyone else. Did I not condense my alchemy as well? Xing Yashang said with a cold smile. That's right, that's right. That little brat has a brain, but unfortunately, he was too arrogant. Breaking his arm and cutting off his future, the Yang family no longer has any outstanding young talents. If the family were to know what Milord has done, they would definitely praise you. Wang Yuling said flatteringly. After a pause, he said, but he has Elder Zue's protection. Elder Zue won't let anything happen to him so easily, right? Right now, we don't know where the Alliance leader is. With Vice Alliance leader Miao in charge, no one can plead for leniency. Elder Chao Xing won't be easy to pass either. Elder Zue is just taking advantage of his seniority. Then what if Elder Chao Xing has other ideas? What ideas could Elder Chao Xing have? Master is a saint elder. His status is higher than hers. Once this matter is over, Master can return to the Xing clan. After some time, this matter will also be resolved. Women will always be women. Chapter 928. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. The Apothecary Alliance's main altar was much more lively than before. Many apothecaries from all over the transcendent realm rushed back to witness the bet between the newly promoted Saint Apothecary Yang Wu and the veteran Saint Apothecary Xing Yashang. Whether it was the newly promoted Saint Alchemist or the old Saint Alchemist who was better would be revealed today. 2 altars rose from the ground in the spacious alchemy field. They were the altars prepared for the 2 Saint Apothecaries. The surrounding open space was already filled with alchemists. The lowest level alchemist was a heavenly alchemist. This was an extremely outstanding alchemist. They were the disciples of various saint alchemists. Only they were qualified to stand here. Most of the rest were minor saint alchemists. There were more than 1,000 of them. There were also quite a number of saint alchemists. There were a total of 70 of them. Such a number of alchemists was frightening. Only the Alchemist Union had such a rallying power. This was because time was tight. If there was more time, there would be even more apothecaries. Miao Miaoqi, Chao Jifei, and the other important saint apothecaries appeared on the stage. They could see the situation on the 2 altars not far away. The alchemy hadn't started yet, but the apothecaries were already engaged in heated discussions. Some were even shuttling through the crowd to place their bets on who would win. Come, come. Those who bet on Saint Elder Xing Yashang's victory have odds of 3 to 1. Those who bet on Yang Wu's victory have odds of 1 to 5. The lowest bet is 1,000 high-grade Xian spirit stones. There's no upper limit. Don't miss it. A young man of average height and appearance shouted. Come, come. I'll bet 1,000 high-grade Xian spirit stones on Saint Elder Xing Yashang's victory. Great. Saint Elder Xing Yashang will definitely win. Meow meow, I'll bet 3,000 high-grade Xian spirit stones on Saint Elder Xing Yashang's victory. This time, you can't owe me any more. Brother, when have I, meow meow, ever cheated others? Don't slander me. 1,000 high-grade Xian spirit stones is too much. I'll bet 500 high-grade Xian spirit stones. Do you accept? 500 high-grade Xian spirit stones. To think that you're a little saint, apothecary. But looking at your poor appearance, I'll let you. Being able to place a bet in the Apothecary Alliance was enough to show that this young man was extraordinary. Meow Meow, also known as Meow Meow, was the descendant of Meow Meow Chi. His talent in alchemy was outstanding. He was not even 30 years old, but he already had the alchemy skills of a heavenly alchemist. He wore a silver-red badge on his chest to prove his alchemy skills. Meow Meow. Meow Meow Meow. Of Meow Meow, was Meon Meow Meow S. Meow 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 did not let him down. Meow Meow's alchemy ability was constantly improving. Meow Meow had always been very satisfied. The only thing he was dissatisfied with was that this fellow's temperament was too unstable. He especially liked gambling, especially in this kind of alchemy competition. Normally, he would not let go of the chance to make a fortune. Many alchemists in the Alliance had to give Meow Meow face. They would usually bet on Meow Meow's bets. Even if they did not want to gamble, they would be embarrassed to not support him. Meow Meow knew when to advance and when to retreat. He would not make things difficult for others. He would always compensate those who bet fairly. He would not owe others. Even if he lost a lot, he would think of ways to get the money back. It was because of his reputation that others were willing to play with him. Meow 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 had always felt helpless about this. He had scolded Meow Meow many times, but this brat always turned a deaf ear. Every time there was an alchemy competition, he would fan the flames. Meow Meow received many bets, all of which were on Xing Yashang. He was very depressed. Is no one optimistic about Yang Wu? Isn't this asking me to lose all the way to my grandmother's house? As the banker, he also wanted to bet on Xing Yashang. This was a gamble without any suspense. Even so, he was still willing to accept bets. This was the professionalism of a banker. Just as Meow Meow was about to lose his enthusiasm to accept bets, a beautiful woman wearing a green feather dress walked over. There's no limit to the bets? Meow Meow looked at the green-clothed woman and was stunned for a moment. Then, he wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth and said, There's no limit. The more the better, the more the better. I wonder who will win if this beauty is betting? I suggest you bet on Yang Wu. They've all bet on Xing Yashang. If there's an upset, you'll earn a lot. I've decided to raise the odds on Yang Wu to 1 to 5 and also put a stop to Xing Yashang. You just have to bet 1,000 high-grade profound spirit stones and you can win 5,000 high-grade profound spirit stones. Don't miss such a great opportunity. I'll bet 10,000 high-grade saint stones on Yang Wu winning, the green-clothed woman said indifferently. In the next moment, she handed a universe ring to Meow Meow. 10,000 high-grade saint stones were piled inside. Meow Meow was shocked. He trembled. Sis, you're not joking? You really want to bet so much? I'm not your sister and I'm not joking. Do you accept or not? Qing Feng said indifferently. Meow Meow gulped. Don't you want to reconsider? Betting is risky. Meow Meow wasn't wrong to be the banker, but he was only a heavenly alchemist. The highest bet he had ever accepted was 100,000 high-grade profound spirit stones. This wasn't something an ordinary person could afford. Now that Qing Feng had bet 10,000 high-grade saint stones, he was truly frightened. "Looks like you don't have the ability to take these saint stones," Qing Feng said disdainfully. She put away her universe ring. At this moment another voice rang out. "We'll take your bet." The person who spoke was Xing Yishang's good friend, Wang Yuling. Beside him was Zhong Feng. Qing Feng glanced at Wang Yuling and said, "Are you sure? 10,000 high-grade saint stones, we two saint alchemists can still afford it. Could it be that you're just trying to scare us?" Wang Yuling looked at Qing Feng with a tyrannical expression. He could tell that Qing Feng was a demonic beast and not a human. He was moved by such a beautiful demonic beast. However, he was even more moved by the 10,000 high-grade saint stones. Even a saint alchemist like him was moved by this amount. "Elder Wang Xing, what you're doing isn't right. You're stealing my business," Miao Miao said unhappily. "Miao Miao, if you can take out 50,000 high-grade saint stones, we'll let you have this business," Wang Yuling said amiably. Wang Yuling didn't dare to put on airs in front of Miao Miao's descendant. All of a sudden, Miao Miao was so stifled that she couldn't say anything. He had never gambled so much before. He really didn't have any saint stones. He couldn't borrow from his ancestor. "Miao Miao, wait until you become a saint alchemist. How about you let us have this opportunity? After we're done, we'll give you 100 saint stones. How about that?" Zhong Feng said from the side. Miao Miao said unhappily, "I can't eat it, but I won't eat it randomly. I'll let you have this opportunity. I hope you don't swallow it." Yang Wu will definitely lose," Zhong Feng said with a faint smile. Qing Feng played with the universe ring in her hand and said, "I don't trust you. Take out the saint stones and put them on him. Whoever wins in the end will take them away." With that, she placed the saint stones in her hand into Miao Miao's hand. Miao Miao was stunned for a moment, then said with a smile, "This sister has good taste. You know that I, Miao Miao, have a good character. 2 saint elders, bring out your saint stones. No matter who wins or loses, I'll take 100 high-grade saint stones as a reward." Just now, Zhong Feng had given him alms, but he didn't care about it. Now that the situation was different, he was the notary, so it was only right for him to take the commission. Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng looked at each other, and each of them also came out of their universe rings. A total of 50,000 high-grade saint stones were handed over to Miao Miao. "Wow, that's a huge bet!" Miao Miao couldn't help but exclaim after confirming the number of saint stones in both parties' universe rings. The alchemists on the left and right also heard the size of the bet, and were all speechless. These were high-grade saint stones, a total of 10,000 of them. Even a second or third-rate power wouldn't have so much wealth. "It's a waste not to take the 10,000 high-grade saint stones that we got for free." Wang Yuling laughed happily. Zhong Feng also laughed and said, "He's rich, spending this little bit of saint stones is nothing." Qing Feng disdained to pay attention to them. In her eyes, no matter if Yang Wu won or not, she would only follow him to the end. She thought to herself, "Don't disappoint me." Ever since she met Yang Wu, she had seen Yang Wu create many miracles. She hoped that this time wouldn't be an exception. At this time, Xing Yashang and Yang Wu arrived one after another, and each of them flew to their own altar. Xing Yashang stepped into the air, and his aura was calm and experienced. He landed on the altar with ease, and his alchemist robe fluttered lightly. There was no doubt that he was a saint alchemist. Yang Wu was like a true dragon, and a dragon-shaped battle chi floated around his body. He revealed the demeanor of a young saint alchemist. At this moment, Yang Wu didn't want to hide his strength anymore. He wanted to show everyone how strong his alchemy skills were. After 3 days of seclusion, he had comprehended a lot, and he was confident that he could reach a higher level. Most of the people's eyes were focused on Yang Wu. There were many people who hadn't seen Yang Wu before, and they were all curious about how Yang Wu looked like. He actually had the guts to challenge a veteran high-level saint alchemist. So he is Yang Wu. He is really young, just like an 18-year-old youth. For him to be able to stand on this altar, my admiration for him is like an endless river. That's right, there are so many alchemists gathered here, and Vice Leader Miao is also on the altar. Not an ordinary person would have the courage to face such a battle array. I believe that he is really a saint alchemist. Saint Elder Xingyashang is already a silver-green saint alchemist. With his alchemy skills, as long as there are no accidents, he has a 99% chance of winning. Where did Yang Wu get the confidence to fight against him? The alchemy is about to start, and we will know who is better in half a day. If there is an upset, I will write my name backwards. Chapter 929. The altar stood tall, unmoved by the wind. Who would emerge victorious in the battle for the title of Saint Alchemist? Today, Xingyashang and Yang Wu will be competing in alchemy. The price of victory and defeat has been stated clearly, and I will be the witness. Before we begin, I will state 3 rules. First, all of you must refine 1 cauldron of star pattern pills in 6 hours. Second, no one is allowed to use true fire to attack or interfere with each other. Third, you will be responsible for the pill tribulation. Do you have any objections? No objections. Yang Wu and Xingyashang both said in unison. Miao Yashang's announcement of these 3 rules seemed to be for the sake of fairness, but in reality, he was already thinking for Yang Wu. Xingyashang was a true star pattern realm saint. If he didn't use true fire to attack, Yang Wu would lose without a doubt. Xingyashang also understood this point, but he didn't care. He could use his alchemy skills to win this bet fair and square. As for the pill tribulation, Xingyashang wasn't afraid at all. He had the saint puppet to withstand the pill tribulation. On the other hand, he didn't believe that Yang Wu had the ability to withstand a saint pill tribulation. No matter how talented a low-level dragon transformation realm martial artist was, how could he withstand a saint pill tribulation? In Xingyashang's opinion, Miao Yashang was very fair. The other alchemists also didn't have any objections. They were all quietly waiting for the competition to begin. Miao Yashang didn't waste any more time and announced the start of the competition. Xingyashang looked at Yang Wu and transmitted his voice. What a pity. The Yang clan will lose a saint alchemist with a bright future. Yang Wu didn't look at Xingyashang. He began to look at the herbs on the altar. These herbs were prepared by the Alchemist Alliance. There were a total of 3 sets, which meant that he had to use 3 sets of ingredients to refine 1 cauldron of star pattern pills. 3 sets of ingredients to refine 1 cauldron of pills was a necessary skill for an alchemist with a high success rate. If he used all 3 sets of ingredients and still couldn't refine the pills, it meant that the result of the competition was out. Xingyashang taunted, Yang Wu, don't pretend to be calm. Now that you're here, it's too late for regrets. If you're willing to submit to the Xing clan and become our dog, I'll let you live. Old dog, don't be noisy. Yang. Xingyashang scolded, little bastard, since you're courting death, don't blame me. Xingyashang didn't delay and began to refine the pills. Xingyashang lived up to his reputation as a veteran saint alchemist. He took out a sacred cauldron. This pitch-black cauldron looked ordinary, but it emitted an aura of vicissitudes. Vaguely, one could hear the cries of birds. There were 3 bird heads on the side of the cauldron. They seemed to be the heads of golden crows. They were the black golden crows, which possessed the bloodline of golden crows. They were an extremely rare ancient spirit demon clan. This cauldron was called the Black Golden Crow Cauldron. It was ranked 177th on the Saint Weapon ranking. The Xing clan had spent a lot of effort to obtain this cauldron. The Black Golden Crow Cauldron could increase one's success rate by 30% and increase one's ability to refine pills by 20%. This was why it could enter the Saint Weapon ranking. There weren't more than 10 cauldrons that could enter the Saint Weapon ranking. Xing Yashang could be proud to have one. This was also the reason why he was so confident. The Saint Alchemists below all looked envious. In their opinion, as long as they could obtain such a sacred cauldron, they would be able to refine pills of a higher grade. However, they didn't have such an opportunity. Unless they could get the number 1 Saint Weapon Master to make a move, they wouldn't have a chance to obtain such a top-grade cauldron. Today I'll show you what alchemy is, Xing Yashang muttered to himself. Murmured Xing Yashang. The power of his saint spirit pulsed, and the herbs rose on their own. Holy fire appeared in his hand. It was the Xing clan's unique fire. It had devoured many types of fire seeds, and it had condensed into a holy fire. It was the reason why he had become a saint alchemist. Xinghua had the ability to devour. When it appeared, the surrounding worldly Xian Qi was devoured by it. The resulting firepower was very oppressive. The alchemists below all retracted their flames, feeling a sense of fear. They were afraid of being devoured by Xing Yashang's sacred flame. The herbs began to fly into the black gold crow cauldron. The Xing fire burned the cauldron's walls. The essence of the herbs was instantly burned and dripped into the cauldron. Using the mind to refine pills, everything was so natural. It showed the demeanor of a saint alchemist. In the next moment, more than 10 stalks of herbs flew up at the same time. They seemed to be controlled by an invisible hand and fell into the cauldron. The Xing fire's power began to disperse, roasting the herbs separately. Another dozen stalks of herbs were refined. The speed was so fast that the alchemists below were amazed. The difference between a saint alchemist and other alchemists was that they were very skilled at using the mind to refine pills. They could speed up the refinement of pills. Yang Wu didn't even look at how Xing Yashang was refining pills. Xing Yashang's Xing fire domain couldn't affect him in the slightest. He had even broken through the Xing clan's fire domain. Why would he be afraid of Xing Yashang's Xing fire domain? Yang Wu didn't immediately start refining pills. He was still distinguishing the herbs. The 3 sets of herbs seemed very complete, but to him there were still some loopholes. There was an extra stalk of herb that shouldn't have been there, and there were 2 less stalks of essential supplementary herbs. The Alchemist Alliance definitely didn't do this on purpose. It was because they had the Star Rune Pills pill formula. With this formula they could also refine Star Rune pills. It was just that the quality of the Star Rune pills would be lowered and the number of condensed pills would be reduced. Not long ago, Yang Wu had discussed alchemy with Elders Zui and Dan Rilchin. He already had his own understanding of various pill formulas. Moreover, he had obtained 10,000 pill formulas from the Alchemist Pavilion. After comparing them with the formula Little Hay gave him, he had a better understanding of the relationship between herbs. If the formula was right, even an ordinary stock of herb could increase the success rate of refining pills. If the formula wasn't right, no matter how many saint herbs he had, it would be difficult to refine pills of exceptional quality. Yang Wu had been in seclusion for 3 days to digest his understanding of the pill formulas. He had a better understanding of the principles behind them. Therefore, before he started refining pills, the first thing he had to do was to distinguish the herbs. Then, he had to figure out the order of refinement of the herbs. He had to achieve a perfect concoction process. Only then would he be able to win this round. Yang Wu put away the extra herbs and added the missing supplementary herbs. This process was only noticed by a few people. They didn't understand what Yang Wu was doing. Fortunately, Yang Wu wasn't cheating. Otherwise, they would have exposed him on the spot. Someone wanted to ask, but was stopped by Miao Miaochi. Vice Alliance Lord, what is he trying to do? The Saint Alchemist asked Miao Miaochi. Perhaps he feels that our formula isn't suitable, so he added some of his own ingredient. This isn't against the rules, Miao Miaochi replied. How is that possible? Our formula definitely won't have any problems. We definitely won't tamper with it, the saint alchemist emphasized. Yes, I know you didn't tamper with it, but that doesn't mean you didn't tamper with the formula, Miao Miaochi replied softly. The saint alchemist was stunned. Xing Yishang had refined quite a few herbs, but Yang Wu hadn't started yet. The people below began to whisper in each other's ears in confusion. What is Yang Wu doing? Is he planning to let the saint alchemist elder condense pills first before refining? Doesn't he know how to refine pills? What is he doing up there? Young people really aren't reliable. Dilly-dallying like this, does he really think he can catch up? Maybe he has acrophobia, haha. Miao Miao whispered to Qing Feng, elder sister, Yang Wu isn't doing good. Qing Feng ignored Miao Miao. Yang Wu definitely had his reasons for not starting yet. She wasn't worried at all. On the other hand, Miao Miao's skin was extraordinarily thick. If he dared to stick close to her, she would definitely send him flying. Elder sister, this is 10,000 high-grade saint stones. Don't tell me you don't care at all? Miao Miao whispered again. If you say another word, I'll pull your tongue out. Qing Feng replied coldly. Miao Miao quickly covered his mouth with a terrified expression. Not far away, Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng sneered. In their eyes, these 10,000 high-grade saint stones were given away for free. Chao Jifei also noticed Yang Wu's situation. She frowned slightly, and her beautiful eyes rippled with thoughts. After a while, her brows relaxed, as if she understood Yang Wu's intentions. She thought to herself, I wonder if he's trying to be smart, or if he's really trying to find a new path. Yang Wu finally started to move. The bronze cauldron quietly appeared in front of the crowd. Not many people could see how amazing this old cauldron was. Only the vice leader, Miao Miaochi, had a look of surprise on his face. He murmured in his heart, a divine cauldron? Yang Wu still didn't start refining. Instead, he took out a white cloth and gently wiped the cauldron. He cleaned up the remaining medicinal dregs in the cauldron bit by bit, leaving no traces behind. In the past, Yang Wu wouldn't do this at all. However, from today onwards, he had to wipe the cauldron clean before refining a cauldron of pills. This was his respect for the cauldron, and also his responsibility for refining new pills. The remaining medicinal dregs in the cauldron would affect the formation of new pills, and could even cause the refinement to fail. This was his newest realization. Only with a sincere heart could one comprehend the Tao of alchemy and create perfect pills. When the old alchemists saw Yang Wu's actions, they felt a trace of respect for Yang Wu. An alchemist who cared for his cauldron was a qualified alchemist. After wiping the cauldron inside and out, Yang Wu used water power to clean it. He then used fire power to dry the cauldron. Everything was done meticulously. Finally, he put his palms together and murmured, Lord Cauldron Spirit, from today onwards, I will take good care of you. I will use my heart to refine every cauldron of pills. I will not let you go to waste. After saying that, he finally began to refine the medicinal herbs. Chapter 930. In the past, Yang Wu had always refined ordinary herbs, old herbs, spirit herbs, medicine kings. This was also the order of all alchemists. The essence of ordinary herbs was easy to control, but the higher the grade of the herbs, the more carefully the refined essence would be placed at the back and finally fused. Now, Yang Wu didn't do this. He chose a heavenly medicine as a guiding herb. This was a melting grass that could fuse the medicinal properties of other herbs. Its function was to bind the essence of other herbs, so it wouldn't fall apart. Then, he chose a few more herbs that also had fusion characteristics to increase the viscosity of the fusion. Moreover, the amount extracted from each herb was different. Not every herb's essence was completely squeezed clean. Refining and condensing pills required a perfect ratio of medicinal properties to completely form a perfect pill. This was a principle that all the pill recipes condensed his Tao of alchemy made him understand. Yang Wu also displayed the using spirit to refine medicine method. Even if the herbs were refined one by one, his speed was much slower than Xing Yishang's, but it finally dispelled everyone's doubts that he was a saint alchemist. But seeing his refining speed, everyone felt that Yang Wu had no chance at all. When an expert made a move, one would know whether or not there was one. The alchemists present had all cultivated in the field of alchemy for many years. They could still distinguish whose refining methods were more brilliant. Xing Yishang was an old Taoist and experienced. His refining methods were incomparably solid, and there was no doubt that he was a saint alchemist. Yang Wu's refining methods were cautious. Every movement was done well, but in fact it gave people the feeling that he was not confident and lacked experience. How could such an alchemist refine a good pill? Only those with good eyesight would discover that Yang Wu's alchemy was incomparably calm, without the slightest bit of panic. His eyes were full of confidence, and every movement was perfect. There were no superfluous movements. His refining methods were very solid. Just based on this point, it could be seen that his alchemy level was very high. In addition, the blue flame that Yang Wu released was very unusual. It was actually not affected by the Xing fire. Those who had reached the Saint Realm could feel that its firepower belonged to the Saint Realm. No wonder Yang Wu had the ability to refine a Saint pill. 2/3 of the dragon root grass, half of the 100 star seed, and all of the star vein grass. Yang Wu was constantly calculating the amount of essence of the herbs, and the heat had to be controlled at will to achieve the amount he needed. Refining a Saint pill was not easy, and every step could not be sloppy. Xing Yashang's refining speed was much faster than Yang Wu's. In less than 2 hours, he had finished refining a large number of herbs. The thick fragrance of the herbs was released, and it was wrapped by his holy qi, preventing it from completely dissipating. Before refining the Saint Demon core, he glanced at Yang Wu. Seeing that Yang Wu was still refining the herbs slowly, he smiled proudly and murmured, "You dare to challenge me with this level of skill? You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth." He didn't rest and continued to refine the Saint Demon core. This level consumed the most firepower. The power contained in a Saint Demon core was terrifying. If he wanted to refine it, he had to use firepower to slowly refine it. Xingye was still at the 6th level of the celestial pattern realm. Normally, he could only refine first tribulation pills. Occasionally, he would be able to refine second tribulation pills. This time, he wanted to refine the second tribulation celestial pattern pill. He couldn't allow any accidents to happen. He had already prepared the qi replenishing pill. If there was a situation where his xian qi was insufficient or his mind was exhausted, he could replenish it at any time. For this competition, he was very well prepared. There was no reason for him to lose. Yang Wu's movements suddenly became faster. In an instant, dozens of herbs flew into the air and fell into the cauldron. Strands of blue flame separated and burned on the cauldron's walls. The intensity of each flame was different, and the essence of each herb was different. After being cautious just now, Yang Wu had completely entered the zone. It was time for him to show off his alchemy skills. The people below quietly went into an uproar. When did Yang Wu become so powerful? Was he hiding his strength just now? I think he might have become nervous after seeing the holy executioner begin to refine the demon cores. Is that why he did this? Using one's soul to refine medicine consumes a lot of soul energy. Yang Wu isn't a star vein realm saint yet. It's already very impressive for him to reach this level. There's no need for him to be so anxious. The essence of the herbs he extracted seems to be very crude. Many of the herbs' energy aren't fully extracted. How can he condense pills like this? Could it be that his reputation is undeserved? Maybe this is his alchemy technique. But if he doesn't extract the essence of the herbs, how can he refine more pills? Yang Wu didn't hear what they were saying. He was completely immersed in his own world of alchemy. The petal of the divine court Tao flower that contained the Tao of alchemy flickered with an indescribable light, helping Yang Wu enter a completely ethereal state. He seemed to be able to sense the life essence of all the herbs before him, allowing him to freely extract them. He also understood the importance of matching the herbs in order. More and more herbs flew in front of him. The most shocking thing was the spectacular scene of 200 to 300 herbs surging into the cauldron. This time, everyone was moved. Extracting so many herbs at once was an insane act. Even Xing Yashang only dared to refine a few dozen herbs at once. It wasn't that his soul couldn't control a large amount of herbs, but that he was afraid that controlling too many herbs would ruin them. The gains wouldn't make up for the losses. Most saint pharmacists would control the amount of herbs within 100 when they entered the state of mind. Very few would exceed this number. Once this number was exceeded, they would be in a state of haste and the chances of failure would be very high. However, Yang Wu did not look anxious in the slightest. He was still so calm, and his movements were still quite smooth. Bit by bit, the essence of the herbs entered the medicinal cauldron, and not a single trace of medicinal properties diffused out. It was inconceivable. Miao Miaochi had been paying attention to Yang Wu's control of the herbs. His eyes were filled with admiration. Others might not understand how Yang Wu was extracting the herbs' essences, but he couldn't hide it from his eyes. He thought to himself, "It's rare to have such a deep understanding of the Tao of alchemy at such a young age." He had seen many talented alchemists, but Yang Wu was definitely the one who left the best impression on him. Even Chao Jifei wasn't as good as him. If their alliance master, Xiang Dingtian, saw this, he would definitely praise, "I'm not alone." Yang Wu wasn't the first person to extract different levels of essences from herbs. The senior alchemists had also discovered this principle. However, there were very few who could actually extract the right essences to concoct pills. Miao Miaochi had seen alchemists who could reasonably extract the essences of herbs. Only their alliance master was able to do so. He had learned something in this area because of his alliance master's teachings. Now Yang Wu could do this. He was indeed worthy of being praised as rare and precious. After Yang Wu finished refining the herbs, he entered the step of extracting the Saint Demon core. At this step, Yang Wu couldn't take any more shortcut. He had to concentrate on refining the Saint Demon core. After Lan Yaoji reached the Saint Flame level, her firepower had increased greatly. It wasn't difficult for her to refine the Saint Demon core. Moreover, he had a saint physique. His Xian Qi wasn't weak. Perhaps it wasn't as long as Xing Yashang, but refining the Saint Demon core wasn't difficult. However, the grade of the Saint Demon core prepared by the Alchemist Union this time wasn't low. It was a Saint Demon core from a high-level demon saint. This was also a preparation for him and Xing Yashang to refine high-level saint pills. It wasn't easy to refine such a Saint Demon core. Yang Wu didn't dare to waste any more time. He poured all of his energy into the Saint Demon core and began to burn it. The Saint Demon core's shadow didn't scare him. His war god had stepped into the ranks of saint souls. He wasn't afraid of this kind of intimidation. In this step, Yang Wu was at a disadvantage again. 4 hours passed. Xing Yashang refined the Saint Demon core. Yang Wu was only halfway through. He only had 2 hours left. Xing Yashang wiped away his sweat and sighed in relief. He began to condense the Saint Demon core. After a quarter of an hour, Xing Yashang successfully condensed the Saint Demon core and attracted the heavenly lightning. Dark clouds gathered in the sky as the heavenly lightning struck down from the sky like dragons and snakes. Most of the alchemists here were pale with fright. If this saint lightning were to fall on them, they would die without a doubt. Fortunately, there was a formation here that isolated the 2 altars from the outside. The heavenly lightning couldn't fall on the alchemy grounds. This was a piercing heaven-level formation. It could even block heavenly lightning, let alone saint lightning. At this time, Xing Yashang summoned a puppet. It was a demon race puppet. Its appearance was very strange. Many people hadn't seen it before. He waved his hand and said, Thunder-devouring demon core, devour the saint lightning. Thunder-devouring demons were extremely rare demons. They were born to devour lightning and didn't fear heavenly lightning. Refined into a puppet, it was one of the most coveted by alchemists. The thunder-devouring demon soared into the sky and opened its mouth to devour the heavenly lightning. When the heavenly lightning entered its mouth, it only caused it to fall back down. It didn't destroy it. It continued to devour the heavenly lightning at a fast pace. Only a small portion of it fell on Xing Yashang. Xing Yashang was already prepared. He summoned another thunder-devouring demon core to block the heavenly lightning. All of the alchemists present were envious. Thunder-devouring demons were hard to find and even harder to capture. Xing Yashang actually had 2 of them. This made them extremely envious. The Xing family was in the God of War realm, suppressing the demon's passage. It wasn't strange for them to be able to capture a thunder-devouring demon core. Haha, what can Saint Lightning do to me? Show me Tribulation 3. Xing Yashang laughed heartily. He hoped to use this opportunity to condense a Tribulation 3 pill. That way, he'd be able to obtain the golden green badge. His status in the Alchemy Alliance would rise to another level. Chapter 931. Boom. Boom. Fortunately, they weren't ordinary citizens. Those who stayed in Ding City all year round were able to see heavenly lightning. There were just too many alchemists here. However, they didn't see much of this kind of heavenly lightning. They had also heard about the bet between the alchemists in the main altar castle. It was a pity that they didn't have the qualifications to enter the castle to watch the battle between the alchemists. When this wave of heavenly lightning fell, they were extremely excited. If they could watch it up close, they would have no regrets in life. After the second wave of heavenly lightning fell, the dark clouds in the sky didn't disperse for a long time. Everyone looked up at the sky, waiting for the third wave of heavenly lightning to fall. Come down, come down! Xing Yashang clenched his fists and shouted in his heart. Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng were also incomparably nervous. If Xing Yashang could attract the third wave of holy lightning, not only would he be able to win this alchemy competition, his status would also rise. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The alchemists present were also extremely nervous. If they allowed Xing Yashang to advance, the pressure on them would be even greater. In the end, the heavenly lightning condensed in the dark clouds didn't fall and quietly dispersed. Xing Yashang said unwillingly, "It's still lacking a bit. Why is it like this?" In the process of refining this time, he had only ruined a few stalks of herbs. All of the medicinal essence was flawless, but he still wasn't able to refine a true third tribulation holy pill. He was really disappointed. Some of the alchemists below felt that it was a pity, while others were secretly happy. They all had different thoughts. Miao Miao said anxiously, "It's over. A second tribulation holy pill. Elder Xing is going to win this time." As the banker, he had received hundreds of thousands of high-grade profound spirit stones. These were all bet on Xing Yashang's victory. Even if the odds were low, he would still suffer a great loss. Qing Feng didn't move. Her eyes were fixed on Yang Wu's body. A perfect second tribulation holy pill. Master Xing is indeed a silver-green alchemist. Wang Yuling sighed. Zhong Feng said with a smile, "The third wave of heavenly lightning didn't fall, but it didn't scatter. It's at least a third tribulation holy pill. Master Xing's alchemy skills have improved. Once his strength improves, he will definitely become a top alchemist." He paused for a moment, then smiled. 10,000 high-grade saint stones. We'll split it. You and I'll take half. Hee, isn't that right? Wang Yuling, meow meow, meow meow meow. Meow meow, meow meow meow. Don't be unhappy, meow meow. Meow meow, meow. Meow ao meow. Meow meow. Meow meow. Meow ao meow. Meow. Meow Meow laughed and said softly, "Why don't you give me 1,000 holy stone? In any case, these holy stone are free." Xing Yashang put away the puppet and opened the cauldron. He was overjoyed. Ha ha! A third tribulation star mark pill. There were 3 star rune pills in his black gold crow sacred cauldron. Each pill was round and smooth, with 2 thunder runes and 1 looming thunder rune. Even if the thunder rune was not completely visible, it did mean that this pill was a quasi-3 tribulation star rune pill. A third tribulation pill was much more valuable than a second tribulation pill. This meant that Yang Wu had to refine a pill of the same level or even higher to win. Even if Yang Wu refined a second tribulation pill, he would lose for sure. Xing Yashang looked at his pill and felt that he would win without a doubt. At that moment, a saint alchemist flew past Meow 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 to confirm Xing Yashang's pill. After the saint alchemist looked at it, he sealed the medicinal pill. He would wait until Yang Wu's medicinal pill was refined before making a comparison. A third tribulation star mark pill. This is a supreme grade saint pill. It seems that Saint Punisher Elder is well prepared. There's no suspense in this competition. Yang Wu is destined to leave the stage of alchemy. What a pity! It's not surprising that Saint Punisher Elder can refine such a pill. Once he becomes stronger, he'll easily become a top saint alchemist. It seems that I need to get closer to him. Yang Wu doesn't seem to be affected by the lightning. He's still refining the Saint Demon Core. His concentration isn't bad. Unfortunately, it's all in vain. The holy heavenly thunder caused a huge commotion, and it was impossible for Yang Wu to not be affected at all. The impact on him was not small at all, and the divine weapon electric trident in his heavenly thunder bone almost flew out to absorb the heavenly thunder. Fortunately, he was able to firmly suppress it, otherwise, if it really flew out, who knew what would happen? After the 2 waves of lightning, Yang Wu let out a sigh of relief. He continued to refine the Saint Demon Core in his cauldron. Since he'd accepted the bet, he couldn't give up just like that. Plus, he might not lose, right? There was less than an hour left until the end of the competition. Yang Wu still hadn't refined the Saint Demon Core. Everyone thought that Yang Wu had no chance of winning. Only a few people hoped for a miracle. Old Man Zhe took a big gulp of wine and thought to himself, it's really difficult for this kid to refine a quasi-3 tribulation pill. If he really loses, I'll have to protect him even if I have to throw away my dignity. The handsome man beside Chao Jifei said, Junior sister, do you think there's still a chance? Chao Jifei replied indifferently, he can refine a saint pill, but he's destined to lose. Yeah, it's already impressive to have such a high level of alchemy at such a young age. If he really wins, we'll be too ashamed to show our faces. The handsome man smiled. Seeing a young man who was younger than him, and whose talent in alchemy wasn't bad, he didn't feel comfortable in his heart. He didn't mind letting his junior sister steal the limelight, but to let a stranger steal the limelight, this was something he couldn't tolerate. It was a good thing that such a young man's future was ruined. It really made him feel good. Jealousy was common to most people. This handsome man was no exception. With less than 15 minutes left, Yang Wu finally refined the Saint Demon Core. He let out a sigh of relief and said, a high-level Saint's Demon Core contains a lot of energy. The Star Rune Pill will be amazing. Next, it was time to fuse the herb essence with the Saint Demon Core. Fusing Saint-level energy wasn't as easy as fusing ordinary pills. It required one's willpower to knead them into a ball and cool them down before condensing the pill. At this stage, it was a test of one's willpower. Yang Wu had formed a battle soul and also reached the power of a saint's soul. He released a boundless amount of soul force and forcefully kneaded the herb essence and Saint Demon Core's energy together. These energies constantly revolved in the cauldron and quickly condensed into a ball. It needed to be kneaded and polished repeatedly to achieve its effect. If it couldn't hold on, these energies would completely disperse and all of his hard work would be wasted. Yang Wu's soul force was rapidly being consumed. This was the most crucial moment and he couldn't afford to make any mistakes. Everyone looked at Yang Wu and couldn't help feeling nervous. They also wanted to see if Yang Wu could condense a saint pill. If Yang Wu failed, they would feel that it was a pity. They all hoped that Yang Wu would be able to condense the pill and end up with a glorious defeat. That was the result they wanted to see. "Brat, you can do it!" Old Zue shouted in his heart. There were also sacred elders from the pill family who were secretly cheering for Yang Wu. They didn't want Yang Wu to be defeated like this. Seeing that the time was almost up, Wang Yuling couldn't help but say, "Tsk tisk, it's almost time." His voice wasn't soft and everyone present could hear him clearly. This was clearly done on purpose to disrupt Yang Wu's rhythm of condensing the pill. "Noisy!" A voice rang out in Wang Yuling's ears, causing him to bleed from his 7 orifices and almost erase his saint's soul. Wang Yuling was scared out of his wits and quickly knelt on the ground. He didn't even dare to breathe loudly. This was a punishment from their vice leader. He even had the heart to die. Zhongfeng, who was beside Wang Yuling, trembled in fear when he saw Wang Yuling like this. He bowed his old body and didn't dare to make any unnecessary movement. Miao Miao wasn't far from them. He covered his mouth and thought to himself, "Good boy, the old ancestor is really ruthless." There was only a quarter of an hour left before the end. Yang Wu used his fighting soul's power to the maximum. The power of the imperial spirit forcefully squeezed the power of the cauldron together. His soul's power was almost exhausted. He shouted, "Condense the Dan!" The flames completely disappeared and the heaven and earth Xian Qi crazily fell with the cauldron lid. The medicinal cauldron quickly cooled down. When the lid was closed, Yang Wu was almost exhausted. With his ability, he could refine an ordinary saint pill, but it was still quite difficult to refine a high-grade saint pill. He quickly refined the 3 revolutions profound pill in his body to replenish his soul force and Xian Qi. He was ready for the pill tribulation. He didn't doubt that his pill wouldn't be able to attract the pill tribulation. If he didn't even have this much confidence, why would he provoke Xingyashang? He wasn't that stupid. "It's finally condensed." Old Zue breathed a sigh of relief. Chao Jifei also had a look of anticipation. She raised her head to look at the gathering dark clouds and muttered, "How many tribulations will it be?" The handsome man beside her said, "At most, it's just a pill tribulation." Qing Feng looked at the dark clouds and finally revealed a trace of a smile. Miao Miao saw this scene and couldn't help but praise, "It's beautiful." Xing Yashang's face darkened. He cursed in his heart. He condensed the saint pill, but the result won't change. The winner will only be me. He didn't know why, but when he looked at the thick dark clouds, he had a bad feeling. The dark clouds seemed to be a bit fierce and frightening. Someone exclaimed, "The holy heavenly lightning is descending." Rumble rumble. Chapter 932. Crimson Flame Thunder. The first wave of heavenly thunder was this kind of variant heavenly thunder. Its terrifying power was even more frightening than the heavenly thunder that Xing Yashang had attracted after condensing his core. The heavenly thunder fell like flames, crazily striking down. All the alchemists were frightened, afraid that the grand array couldn't withstand it and would kill them all. Miao Miao Qi looked surprised again and praised in his heart, "Good boy, he really did it." Old Zui danced and cheered, "Good boy." Not everyone can withstand the heavenly thunder. Many saint alchemists have been killed by it. Xing Yashang sneered in his heart. In the next moment, Yang Wu did something that shocked everyone. He didn't summon any puppets to deal with the heavenly thunder. Instead, he rushed into the sky and used his own body to block the heavenly thunder. Was there something wrong with his brain? This was heavenly thunder, a variant heavenly thunder. With the two combined, even a saint would be smashed into meat paste. Under everyone's gaze, Yang Wu released traces of lightning power. His heavenly thunder bones trembled, and the 9 lightning body tempering art was activated to welcome the crimson flame thunder. Yang Wu was completely drowned by the dozens of crimson flame thunder. This wave of heavenly thunder was too powerful, much stronger than the one that Xing Yashang had attracted. It was like a sea of lightning, and the momentum was too terrifying. Could it be that he's condensing a high-grade St. Pill? The handsome man beside Chao Jifei narrowed his eyes and thought to himself. Looking at the heavenly thunder, his mood suddenly became bad. As Xiang Dingtian's 8th disciple, his name was Yao Wushuang. He was born in the medicine sect and was once called Peerless Medicine Boy. After being taken in as Xiang Dingtian's disciple, he showed enough potential and quickly broke all kinds of records, becoming the fastest person to become a saint alchemist in 1,000 years. It was only after Chao Jifei appeared that his limelight was overshadowed. Now, Yao Wushuang wasn't even 200 years old, but he already had the silver-green badge. Such talent was unparalleled, and he had the potential to become a saint alchemist in 1,000 years. He and Chao Jifei had long been known as a match made in heaven. Everyone was optimistic that they would be together. Unfortunately, Chao Jifei's aura was too strong, and it was difficult to understand her thoughts. She never expressed her love for him, and always kept a sufficient distance from him. She did not leave him, nor did she give him a chance to get close to her. She was really a woman who was difficult to conquer. Yao Wushuang did not feel discouraged. On the contrary, he enjoyed the process of chasing. He firmly believed that with his own ability, he could break Chao Jifei's fortress and win the beauty. As for Yang Wu's appearance, he didn't think that anything would happen between Chao Jifei and Yang Wu. She just didn't like a guy who was younger than her and had a better talent in alchemy. In the Scarlet Thunder Sea, Yang Wu used his divine body to resist the heavenly thunder. He was bombarded until he was on the verge of death. He absorbed a large amount of heavenly thunder power and tempered his heavenly thunderbone again and again. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula also absorbed the heavenly thunder power and poured it into his dantian. The green sprout growing in his dantian also absorbed the heavenly thunder power. The green leaves became brighter and brighter, and they were not afraid of the heavenly thunder power at all. Yang Wu kept attacking the heavenly thunder. He treated the heavenly thunder as a tempering of his body. He had the immortal qi protecting his body. As long as he was not struck to death, he could continue to temper himself. His black tortoise armor also played a role. The 8 trigrams armor released a force that dissipated a lot of the impact of the heavenly thunder. Only then could he collide with the heavenly thunder again and again. He was struck by the heavenly thunder again, and the dense heavenly thunder bone appeared. However, his fighting spirit was still abnormal, and he stimulated all of his strength to fight back. When everyone saw this scene, they felt like they were in a mess in the wind. Yang Wu was actually fighting against the heavenly thunder? This was definitely the most incredible and insane thing that they had seen in recent years. Motherf *Ker, this guy is a dragon in human form. Someone couldn't help but curse. He's not human. Someone else agreed. Meow Meow's eyes widened as he exclaimed, "This guy is too fierce. He's my idol. I've always dreamed of fighting against the heavenly thunder. This guy is fulfilling my last wish." Tui, it's a wish. The visual impact of Yang Wu facing the heavenly thunder was too great. After the first wave of heavenly thunder, Yang Wu's body was in tatters. His appearance was too frightening. Yang Wu had faced the heavenly thunder many times, but this time, he was the most severely injured. Yang Wu raised his head to look at the still lingering dark clouds and roared, "Come at me again!" The heavenly thunder hadn't descended yet, and Yang Wu charged forward again. He was like a lunatic seeking his own death. The dark clouds seemed to have heard Yang Wu's provocation, and a second wave of golden snake lightning came crashing down like rain. The power of each golden snake lightning was several times stronger than the scarlet flame lightning. When everyone saw the golden snake lightning, they were scared silly. Some alchemists were so scared that they fell to the ground and their legs went soft. They had seen the golden snake lightning before, but it was definitely the first time they had seen such a powerful golden snake lightning. They were like living golden snakes spiraling down from the sky. The ferocious power of devouring people was enough to scare away Saint. Not only was Yang Wu not afraid, he even condensed a powerful fist and punched towards the golden snake lightning. Zhenwu boxing. Who else would be so bold to train their boxing skills in the heavenly thunder, other than the martial artists who cultivated thunder profound chi? Yang Wu's punch was very heavy, but the golden snake lightning's power was even heavier. It shattered his fist and smashed it. Blood splashed out. Even if he used dispersing force, he couldn't block it. The heavenly thunder bone was crazily absorbing the golden snake lightning. Unfortunately, the absorption speed was limited and couldn't take too much of the pressure. Whether or not he could withstand it depended on his own ability. So what if he refined a second tribulation holy pill? Isn't it still a dead end? Xing Yashang looked at Yang Wu resisting the heavenly thunder in the sky and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. Chao Jifei revealed a trace of unbearable expression and said, "Could it be that he has always been resisting the heavenly thunder with his own physical strength? Seeking his own death, no one can save him." Yao Wushuang laughed. "Don't forget that Master told us that he can also resist the heavenly thunder with his own strength. We can also do what he asked us to do." Chao Jifei said, "Of course I remember, but you don't think that he has the qualifications to be compared to Master, right? Other than Great Senior, no one in the world can compare to Master," Yao Wushuang said with certainty. After a pause, he added, "In the future, little junior sister can also compare. At least for now, I'm not as good as him." Chao Jifei looked at Yang Wu in the sky and replied, "Let's talk about it after he withstands it." The fire of jealousy in Yao Wushuang's eyes became even stronger. Yang Wu was about to be struck to death. The golden snake lightning's power was far beyond what he could withstand. The divine weapon electric fork didn't appear to help him. He even had the heart to die. At the critical moment, I can't rely on anyone. I can only rely on myself, Yang Wu secretly thought. He released all of the heavenly thunder bone's electric fork talent. In an instant, a field of electric forks condensed and resisted the golden snake lightning. At this time, a strange change occurred. After the golden snake lightning struck his electric fork field, more than half of its power merged into the electric fork field. The damage it did to him was greatly reduced. Yang Wu froze for a moment and then became ecstatic. The electric fork talent can weaken the heavenly thunder's power. This is great. He didn't know that the electric fork talent had such an ability. It was a pleasant surprise to suddenly discover it. Yang Wu relied on the electric fork field to catch his breath. As he took a deep breath, his bones and flesh grew. His injuries were quickly recovering. He then gathered his strength to resist the golden snake lightning. After the electric fork field appeared, the golden snake lightning's damage to Yang Wu decreased. Yang Wu was once again lucky enough to withstand the second wave of heavenly thunder. The dark clouds in the sky didn't immediately disappear. Just like Xing Yashang, it was as if heavenly thunder was about to strike down. Xing Yashang stared at the dark clouds and prayed in his heart, "Don't fall, don't fall." If another heavenly thunder fell from the dark clouds, he would definitely lose this bet. He really didn't expect Yang Wu to have the ability to refine a Tribulation 2 or even a Tribulation 3 sacred pill. It was too late to regret now. He only hoped that the goddess of luck was on his side and not Yang Wu's. Wang Yuling, Zhong Feng, and the others were also praying in their hearts that a Tribulation 3 pill lightning would not fall. Otherwise, they would suffer a great loss. All the alchemists present had different thoughts. Some hoped that a Tribulation 3 pill lightning would fall, while others didn't. They all stared at the dark clouds in the sky and waited for the final result. In the end, the dark clouds showed signs of retreating. Old Zue and Qing Feng both showed an unwilling expression. They couldn't wait to rush up and pull the heavenly thunder down. A trace of disappointment flashed across Yang Wu's face. He had thought that his refinement of the pill was perfect enough to attract the third tribulation pill. Who knew that he still couldn't do it? He didn't understand what he had done wrong. Kid, don't be discouraged. This old man will help you. Come down for me. An old voice inexplicably sounded. The medicinal cauldron emitted a boundless light. The pill in the cauldron seemed to have been refined again. The dark clouds in the sky that were about to retreat gathered together again. Then, a terrifying purple heavenly thunder came down with a force that was too late to cover one's ears. Bang! 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 A series of shocking sounds shook heaven and earth. The people in Ding City were shaken to the point that their ears were ringing. The alchemists in the castle fell down again. All of them were pale with fright. Even the saint alchemist Xing Yashang felt his legs go soft. His mind was blank. Yao Wushuang stared at the third wave of heavenly thunder and couldn't help but cry out, "How is this possible?" Old Zui cheered, "Good boy, good boy." However, Yang Wu looked at the heavenly thunder that suddenly fell again and felt despair. He exclaimed, "It's over." The power of this heavenly thunder was too terrifying. It was far beyond the range that he could endure. He felt that he would be struck to death. All of a sudden, the divine weapon electric fork finally moved. Chapter 933. The divine weapon electric fork was a mysterious weapon that Yang Wu had obtained from the heavenly palace. It had the ability to absorb heavenly thunder. When the third wave of purple thunder cloud fell, it absorbed the terrifying power of thunder and lightning for Yang Wu. On the high platform, Miao Miaochi and Elder Zui were already prepared to release their puppets to block the lightning for Yang Wu. However, they hesitated. Once they did so, it would be against the rules. Yang Wu would be judged to have lost. Not only would he lose his arm, he would also lose his future as an alchemist. This was no different from killing him. It was also during this moment of hesitation that Yang Wu was struck by the 3 purple thunderclouds. Yang Wu is finished. This thought flashed through everyone's mind. Even a high-tier saint might not be able to block such terrifying sacred thunderclouds. How could Yang Wu block it? Haha, die! Xing Yashang was ecstatic. So what if Yang Wu had refined a third tribulation sacred pill? Once he was struck to death, all bets would be over. He would be the final winner. Wang Yuling, Zhong Feng, and the others who didn't want Yang Wu to win were all overjoyed. They didn't want to see Yang Wu survive. Chao Jifei, Miao Miao, and the others hoped that Yang Wu could create a miracle and survive. They were all broad-minded people. Although they weren't familiar with Yang Wu, after seeing his performance, they all felt that Yang Wu shouldn't die here. It would be a huge loss to the alchemist world. Qing Feng gritted her teeth and stared at the 3 purple thunderclouds. Her heart was in pain. If possible, she was willing to die for Yang Wu. Yang Wu was the hope of the Yang family. She definitely didn't want anything to happen to him. After this wave of holy heavenly thunder flashed past, the dark clouds quietly disappeared, and the world returned to normal. The high altar where Yang Wu was at had been shattered. That was an altar made of holy materials, but it had been shattered. Could Yang Wu still survive? Everyone kept looking for Yang Wu. Before they could discover him, Yang Wu's voice rang out, "Damn it, how can it be so easy to kill this saint teacher?" His voice was like a sweet spring flowing into the hearts of Qing Feng, Old Zui, and the others. Instantly they were filled with joy. Yang Wu had really created a miracle. "I knew you wouldn't disappoint me," Qing Feng said happily. "Good boy. Good boy." Old man Zui waved his fist excitedly and cheered. He admired Yang Wu more and more. In the beginning, he had pushed Yang Wu to become the Saint Elder in the Alliance. Other than for the benefit of the Alliance, he also hoped that his senior brother would take in another disciple. Yang Wu was too similar to his senior brother in many aspects. Miao Miao also shouted excitedly, "Awesome, too awesome! From today onwards, this brother will be my idol. He is simply inhuman." Xing Yashang, Wang Yuling, Zhong Feng, and the others were extremely pale. They all looked as if they had lost their souls. They stared at Yang Wu, who was crawling up from the corner. It was hard for them to accept this fact. Yao Wushuang narrowed his eyes as he looked at Yang Wu. His jealousy was growing crazily. He had just heard Chao Jifei, who was beside him, praise Yang Wu for the first time when she saw that he was still alive. He felt even more unhappy. A third tribulation holy elixir and a golden green badge. Are they really that easy to get? Many people present were completely won over by Yang Wu. Other than being handsome, Yang Wu's alchemy skills were also indisputable. Moreover, he had withstood the 3 tribulation holy lightning head-on. This abnormal performance was perfect. Martial artists worshipped the strong. Alchemists worshipped the more advanced alchemist. The logic was the same. Miao Miao Miao's old eyes flashed with admiration. He said, "Test the pills." Beside him, a saint alchemist quickly flew towards Yang Wu. No one dared to doubt that Yang Wu would not be able to make the pills this time. After the 3 tribulation holy lightning, the 3 tribulation holy pill would definitely be made. It was just that no one knew how many pills he would make. Yang Wu was too powerless to open the lid of the cauldron. He simply sat cross-legged on the ground to recover from his injuries. He believed that the Saint Elder would not dare to cheat. 3 waves of heavenly lightning. Each wave was stronger than the last. Yang Wu's body was almost shattered. Even many of his heavenly lightning bones were broken. It was already a miracle that he was still alive. He circulated the Supreme 9 Mysteries formula. The Xian Qi of heaven and earth continuously gathered. The immortal Qi in his body kept floating. Wherever the Xian Qi went, his injuries would rapidly recover. Those damaged organs were healing. His skin and flesh were growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Those who saw this scene were shocked once again. They felt that Yang Wu must have swallowed a saint healing pill from a living person's bones. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to recover so quickly. This time, Yang Wu really did not take any pills. His body was once again tempered to the extreme. Relying on his own strength to recover, his body's quality would rise to another level. After being baptized by the thunder tribulation of the Saint Pill several times, Yang Wu's physical body had gradually advanced to the level of a second-level star pattern saint. Even an ordinary second-level star pattern saint's physical body was not as abnormal as his. This was the abnormal part of the 9 lightning body tempering technique. Although Yang Wu did not mainly cultivate Thunder Xian Qi, his physical body was still constantly improving after being baptized and tempered by such terrifying heavenly lightning. In addition, his alchemy Dao had also been completely successful after refining the star pattern pill. His alchemy skills had reached a level that other saint alchemists could not pursue in their lifetime. All of this was thanks to the pill recipe's choice of owner. After successfully refining the 3rd tribulation pill, his Dao fruit had been completely consolidated. In the future, as long as he continued to deepen his cultivation, refine more pills, and understand the principles of alchemy Dao, his alchemy Dao would be successful. The Saint Elder in charge of alchemy arrived in front of the bronze cauldron. He wanted to open the cauldron lid, but he could not do it. He was a dignified saint. He shouted, "Open the cauldron lid!" He used his power to cover the cauldron lid, wanting to forcefully open it. Who knew that the cauldron lid was still as stable as Mount Tai? No matter how hard he tried, he could not open it. Everyone had a strange look on their faces. They thought to themselves, could it be that the Saint Elder forgot to eat breakfast this morning? Miao Miaochi said, "It's fine if you can't open it. Let's wait for Yang Wu to open it." The Saint Elder was extremely embarrassed. He replied, "I'll try again." In the next moment, he erupted with his full strength. The power of several star patterns appeared behind him. A huge palm burst with a powerful force and grabbed the lid of the cauldron. This power that could tear apart space shocked everyone. They felt that this time, the lid of the cauldron would definitely be opened. Who knew that the bronze cauldron was still as before? It did not move at all. The lid was still firmly on top. Yang Wu opened his eyes and said, "Sir, let me do it. This medicinal cauldron has recognized its master. Without the master's permission, it will not listen to anyone." The Saint Elder was speechless. He could only move aside with a red face. He thought to himself, what kind of medicinal cauldron is this? Even I can't do anything to it. I don't think I've seen it on the saint weapon rankings. Could it be a saint cauldron that isn't on the rankings? Yang Wu did not stand up. He said softly to the cauldron, "Please open the lid." Bang! The cauldron lid jumped open on its own. The medicinal fragrance instantly spread for thousands of miles. The mouth of the cauldron had a saint light floating. It looked like stars were floating. This was the phenomenon caused by the star-patterned saint pill. The fragrance spread for thousands of miles, and the stars appeared in the cauldron. Everyone was intoxicated by the medicinal fragrance. It was as if just taking a breath would allow them to ascend to the heavens and earth. The stars were even more dazzling. No matter what level of celestial rune realm Saint One was, as long as they swallowed a celestial rune pill, they would be able to break through and advance to the celestial rune realm in one fell swoop. This phenomenon was even more dazzling than when Xing Yashang opened the cauldron. Just based on this, everyone knew the result of this refinement. Xing Yashang, Wang Yuling, Zhong Feng, and the others' faces were ashen. The saint alchemist walked over and looked at the pills in the cauldron. His old eyes widened. He trembled and said, How is this possible?" Old man Zue said impatiently, "What do you mean it's impossible? How many star-pattern pills did Yang Wu refine?" The Saint Elder gulped and said, "A total of 16 pills." "What? Say that again." Miao Miao Qi shouted emotionally. "Vice Alliance Master, Yang Wu refined a total of 16 three-tribulation star mark pills." The Holy Elder took a deep breath and said seriously again. Everyone was in an uproar. "Did I hear wrongly? Yang Wu actually refined 16 three-tribulation star mark pills? Watch your words. You should call him Saint Alchemist Yang. Based on his performance just now, it's not surprising that he refined 16 saint pills. Even the best saint alchemists can't refine more than 10 saint pills at once. How did Lord Yang Wu do it? With his ability, he can definitely become a saint alchemist if he improves. Lord Yang Wu, please accept my kneeling. You're my idol from now on. I'm willing to follow you. He really didn't cheat. Are you blind, or are you saying that the Vice Alliance Master and the Saint Elders are blind? He attracted a Saint Pill Tribulation. How can it be fake? Is a Saint Pill Tribulation immune to cheating? Yang Wu smiled when he heard the results. I didn't suffer the heavenly lightning for nothing. Before this, he could only refine a few Saint Pills at most. This time, he refined 16 Saint Pills. It was beyond his expectations. This was the result of his success in the Pill Dao. It also proved that his method of concocting herbs was correct. Perhaps there was still room for improvement. Good, very good. Seal the pills immediately and present them together. Miao Miaochi praised loudly and ordered the Saint Elder to seal the pills. Test the pills, seal the pills, and compare the result. Was there even a need to compare the results? Xing Yashang, Wang Yuling, and Zhong Feng wanted to stop it, but they didn't have the guts to do so. They could only watch helplessly as the Holy Elder sealed the pill. Miao Miao even said to Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng at an inappropriate time, "Sigh, Elder Zhong, I don't have the fortune to enjoy your 1,000 high-grade saint stones. My heart hurts." He was overjoyed, but he still added insult to injury. It was too unkind. Just as the dust was about to settle, a voice rang out, "There's no need to seal this furnace of pills. Yang Wu has already lost this match." Chapter 934. The Star Mark pill that Xing Yashang had refined was a third tribulation pill. He had refined a total of 3 pills. The star mark pill that Yang Wu had refined was a third tribulation pill. He had refined a total of 16 pills. Such a divine pill was definitely of the highest quality. Comparing the two, it was clear whose pill was better. At this time, there were still people who said that Yang Wu had lost this competition. Suddenly, everyone turned to look at the person who had spoken. The person who had spoken was Yao Wushuang, who was standing beside Chao Jifei. Yao Wushuang was the 8th disciple of the current alliance leader, Xiang Dingtian. He was also Chao Jifei's senior brother. He had a high status in the alliance and his words carried a lot of weight. Xing Yashang looked at Yao Wushuang, his eyes filled with gratitude. He hoped that Yao Wushuang could turn the tables for him. Although the hope was slim, he still wanted to be lucky. Wushuang, why do you say that? The result is obvious. Why do you say that Yang Wu has lost? Old man Zui asked Yao Wushuang. Among his senior brother's 9 disciples, he disliked Yao Wushuang the most. Although his talent was outstanding, he was from the medicine sect. Back then, the medicine sect had spent a lot of effort to get Yao Wushuang to be his senior brother's disciple. At that time, he had advised his senior brother not to accept Yao Wushuang as his senior brother's disciple. He was afraid that if Yao Wushuang was cultivated, it would only benefit the medicine sect. His senior brother did not listen to his advice and still accepted Yao Wushuang as his disciple. Yao Wushuang did not disappoint him and made great progress, becoming a new star in the alchemy world. It was not until Chao Jifei appeared that he restrained himself. No matter how outstanding Yao Wushuang was, it could not change old man Zui's bad impression of him. He always felt that Yao Wushuang was an ingrate. Miao Miaoqi also looked at Yao Wushuang. His old eyes flashed with wisdom, as if he had already guessed what Yao Wushuang was going to say. Yang Wu has refined a third tribulation star mark pill. From the results, it is indeed his victory. However, the Vice Alliance leader had already stated the rules before the competition started. The time limit was 6 hours. Yang Wu has already exceeded the time limit. Therefore, Yang Wu has lost this competition. Holy Elder Xing Yashang has won. What do you all think? Yao Wushuang explained slowly with a smile. Everyone was stunned. Even Yang Wu himself was stunned. Miao Miaoqi seemed to have really said that. That's right, that's right. I've won this round. I've won. Yang Wu, you've exceeded the time limit. You've exceeded the time limit. Ha! Xing Yi cheered, feeling as though he had just escaped death. Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng laughed heartily as if a heavy burden had been lifted from their shoulders. Is that even possible? Miao Miao muttered. Qing Feng narrowed her eyes and quietly moved closer to Yang Wu. If something went wrong, she would take Yang Wu away. She couldn't just watch Yang Wu cut off his own arm. The Holy Elder asked Miao Miao curiously, Vice Alliance leader, how do we judge this? Miao Miaoqi said indifferently, present the pills first. The Saint Elder did as he was told and handed the sealed Saint pill to Miao Miaoqi. It was up to Miao Miaoqi to decide the final result. After the pills were presented, Miao Miaoqi said to the people around him, come and see whose pills are better. The people around him were all Saint alchemists. They all carefully examined Xing Yashang and Yang Wu's pills. More people's eyes fell on Yang Wu's pills. They were all wondering how Yang Wu managed to refine 16 Saint pills. Only a divine alchemist could do this. These are genuine Third Tribulation Star Rune pills. The quality of the pills is unquestionable. What a breathtaking pill! Even this old man can't refine such a beautiful and perfect pill. Look carefully. The 16 pills are all the same size. There are no irregularities. Look at the color of the pill markings. These are indeed star rune pills that have just undergone tribulation. This can't be fake. Holy Elder Xing Yu's pill is also a third tribulation star rune pill. It's an excellent pill. It's a pity. All the Saint Elders agreed that Yang Wu's pill was the best. No one objected to this result. Even Yao Wushuang praised it twice. Not bad. She didn't say anything else. On the other hand, Chao Jifei said, I'm not as good as him for now. She emphasized for now twice. Her meaning was clear. She could surpass him in the future. In the end, Miao Miao Qi announced, since all of you say that Yang Wu's pills are fine, then I declare Yang Wu the winner of this competition. Xing Yishang immediately protested. Vice Leader, Holy Elder Wushuang just said that Yang Wu exceeded the time limit. No matter how good his pill is, it's useless. Yao Wushuang had to ask again, Vice Leader, you're the one who announced the rules. You can't break the rules just because you value talent. Yao Wushuang was putting on airs talking to Miao Miao Qi like this. Miao Miao Qi didn't mind at all. He asked, where are the judges? 3 people walked out from the crowd and knelt to Miao Miao Qi. We're here. Yao Wushuang was stunned. He didn't think that there would be people secretly keeping track of time. However, he firmly believed that Yang Wu's pill must have exceeded the time limit. Tell me, did Yang Wu exceed the time limit? Miao Miao Qi asked the 3. The 3 raised their hourglasses and said seriously, he didn't exceed the time limit. Impossible. He clearly exceeded the time limit by 6 hours. How could he not exceed the time limit? There are so many people here who can testify for me. Xing Yishang couldn't accept this. Do you have image recording crystals? Miao Miao Qi asked again. Yes. The 3 said at the same time. Then, they held up their image recording crystals. Image recording crystals were miraculous stones. They could record what happened. They were the best evidence. One of the judges said, according to the rules of alchemy, before Yang Wu attracted the pill tribulation, the time limit didn't end. It ended when the second tribulation lightning struck. Therefore, Yang Wu didn't exceed the time limit. There were rules in the alchemy world. After condensing the pill, when the first wave of tribulation lightning struck, it meant that the alchemy was successful. As for how much tribulation lightning struck after that and how much time was affected, it didn't count. This rule was to take care of the alchemist's natural weakness. If there was a lightning protection array here, Yang Wu wouldn't need to spend time to face the tribulation. He could condense the third tribulation pill. In other words, according to the rules of alchemy, after Yang Wu condensed the pill, the moment the tribulation struck, it meant that he had successfully refined the pill. The time taken to face the tribulation wasn't counted in the time limit. Therefore, it didn't count as him exceeding the time limit. The judges released the image from the image recording crystal. Everyone could see that when the first wave of tribulation lightning struck, Yang Wu still had sand in the hourglass. It wasn't until the second wave of tribulation lightning that the sand in the hourglass ran out. The 6 hours were over. Xing Yishang's face was ashen. He murmured, he exceeded the time limit. He exceeded the time limit. Yao Wuchen was speechless. He didn't think that Miao Miaoqi would have such a trick up his sleeve. He was speechless. The rules of alchemy were recognized by all alchemists. He didn't dare to go against them. Chao Jifei's tensed face loosened slightly as she lightly covered her bright red lips and murmured, this result is quite good. Yang Wu's alchemy skills were unquestionable. It would be a pity if he lost because of the time difference. She had questioned Yang Wu in the hall out of consideration for the alliance. Now that Yang Wu had won, she was also thinking for the alliance. In her eyes, as long as it was beneficial to the alliance, she would agree. It wasn't because she liked Yang Wu. When Yao Wuchen heard Chao Jifei's words, it was like adding oil to the fire. He wanted to kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu, alchemist saint. Good job. It was unknown who started cheering, but the others followed suit. Wave after wave of cheers rang out incessantly. This was Yang Wu's moment of glory. Yang Wu secretly broke out in a cold sweat. He was lucky and said, you can't play like this next time. You almost scared my heart out. When he heard Yao Wuchen's excuse and announced that he had lost, he was almost ready to run away. Fortunately, the Alchemist Alliance had prepared a foolproof plan that allowed him to avoid disaster. Miao Miao took 2 yin and yang rings to Qing Feng and said, "Sister, these are the saint stones you won. Please keep them well." This time, Miao Miao had won over 100,000 high-grade spirit stones. This was the most he had ever won. He was very happy, but compared to Qing Feng, this amount of spirit stones was nothing. Qing Feng took the yin and yang rings without hesitation. She didn't forget to look at Wang Yuling and Zhong Feng. She then took out 1,000 high-grade saint stones and handed them to Miao Miao. "This is your cut. No need to thank me." Miao Miao took the 1,000 high-grade saint stones and felt that this sister was even more beautiful. He said excitedly, "You really are a fairy sister. How generous! I'll acknowledge you as my sister." Qing Feng ignored Miao Miao and quickly flew towards Yang Wu. Her duty was to protect Yang Wu. The more critical the situation was, the more she couldn't afford to make any mistake. Alright, the result is out. According to the bet, Xing Yashang is no longer a holy elder of the Alliance. He will take back his badge. Chao Jifei, Wang Yuling, you have to do the additional bets, Miao Miao Qi announced calmly. Xing Yashang struggled. "Vice leader, please give me another chance. Please give me another chance." "You only have one chance. You are no longer a holy elder of the Alliance, but you are still a holy alchemist," Miao Miao Qi replied. He then looked at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, you have won and refined a 3 tribulation sacred pill. You will be given the golden green badge, and become a top holy elder of the Alliance. You will enjoy the best treatment in the Alliance. What do you think?" Any other holy alchemist would have knelt down and thanked him, but Yang Wu asked calmly, "What's the best treatment?" "You can use herbs below the heavenly level at any time. You can enjoy 30% of the price. Herbs above the heavenly level will be 50%. All pills will be 50%. You will have priority in obtaining herbs and pills. You will also receive a top holy robe. You will be able to command guards at any time." Chapter 935. The position of a top-tier holy elder was extremely prestigious in the Alchemist Alliance. Once one obtained this status, no matter which faction they went to, they would be honored guests. The big shots of the other faction would immediately come out to greet them. A top-tier holy elder was a top-tier alchemist. Every pill they refined was extremely valuable. Even if one had saint stones, they might not be able to obtain one. This was why every alchemist was greatly respected and sought after. Yang Wu had unknowingly reached a very high position in the path of alchemy. If he were to return to the Yang family with such an identity, he would be on equal footing with Yang Jinghai. In fact, his role would be even greater than Yang Jinghai's. As long as he called out, who knew how many powerhouses would want to join the Yang family? Yang Wu hadn't thought that far yet. He was thinking about the benefits of being a top-tier holy elder. Was it worth it? If it wasn't, then so be it. If others knew what Yang Wu was thinking, they would probably faint from anger. This was such a good opportunity, such a good position. Was there a need to consider it? "What do I need to pay?" Yang Wu asked calmly after hearing Miao Miaoqi's words. "How honorable is the position of the holy elder of the Alliance? How can you bargain? If you want it, then go ahead. If you don't want it, then don't. There's no need to talk so much nonsense." Yang Wu looked at Yao Wushuang and said, "You're the Lord Alliance Master?" Yao Wushuang was immediately swallowed by Yang Wu's words. How could he be the Lord Alliance Master? Although he had the chance to take over the position in the future, he didn't have the qualifications yet. "I'm not," Yao Wushuang said unhappily. "Then why are you blindly shouting here? Even the Vice Alliance Master has no objections. Do you really think you're the Alliance Master? Or are you looking down on the Vice Alliance Master?" Yang Wu questioned. Yao Wushuang was choked by Yang Wu's words. Although he was Xiang Dingtian's disciple, he was still a junior in front of Yang Wu. How could he dare to look down on Miao Miaoqi? He had only spoken in a moment of desperation because he couldn't stand Yang Wu. He usually knew his limits. I just don't like the way you talk to the Vice Alliance Master. Yao Wushuang coldly stared at Yang Wu and said, You don't like me, so you interrupted my conversation with the Vice Alliance leader. Just now, you announced that I lost because you don't like me. Is it because I'm more handsome and better at alchemy than you, so you're jealous of me? Fine, I'll agree to the Vice Alliance leader's appointment as a peak holy elder. My position should be higher than yours, right? Oh right, Lord Vice Alliance leader, the Alliance doesn't allow infighting, right? What if someone bullies me after I become a peak holy elder? If I become a peak holy elder, I won't dare to offend you, Yang Wu said to Yao Wushuang as if he were the weak one. Everyone else was stunned. Even Chao Jifei couldn't help but laugh. Her smile was like a blooming flower. Miao Miaochi smiled faintly and said, Infighting is forbidden in the Alliance. If you want to settle personal grudges, you can only compete in alchemy. After a pause, he didn't give Yao Wushuang and Yang Wu any more time to argue. He announced, In 3 days, we'll hold the conferring ceremony. That's all for today. Disperse. With that, he turned and left. After he left, the others didn't disperse with him. Instead, they all rushed toward Yang Wu. Holy Elder Yang Wu, I want to give birth to your children. I love you. Lord Yang Wu, are you selling your star rune pills? I'm willing to pay a high price for one. Why buy pills? Lord Yang Wu, please accept me as your servant. I'm willing to follow you forever. Holy Elder Yang Wu, I have a granddaughter. She's 28 years old and as beautiful as a flower. How about I give her to you as a servant? Lord, I'll personally be your servant. The kind that can warm your bed. You can do whatever you want with her at night. The alchemists here went completely crazy, especially the female alchemists. They didn't care about women's modesty at all. They all expressed their love for Yang Wu. Their passion made many male alchemists jealous. Miao Miao rushed into the crowd. He was originally the first to rush over, but before he could reach Yang Wu, he was pushed to the ground by the people behind him. Moreover, he was trampled until he didn't look like a human anymore. Help! You caused a stampede. You have no regard for human life. Miao Miao tragically covered his handsome face and shouted. Unfortunately, no one took him seriously. They just treated him like a meat cushion and trampled on him. It was a tragic sight. Yang Wu was also shocked by this situation. He had just recovered from half of his injuries. He wanted to recover fully before leaving. Now, he had no choice but to leave. Qing Feng protected Yang Wu and quickly retreated. Xing Yashang, Wang Yuling, Zhong Feng, and the others were completely ignored. They were slightly sad. Lord Xing, I was taught a lesson by the Vice Alliance Master. I want to find a place to heal. Wang Yuling pointed at the bloodstains on his face and said pitifully. Earlier, he was shaken by Miao Miao Chi's voice and was bleeding from his 7 orifices. There were indeed a few bloodstains on his face, but they had already dried. He looked more or less recovered and didn't look very miserable. Xing Yashang weakly waved his hand and said, You can leave. Okay, then I'll leave first. Let's meet again after I've healed. Wang Yuling hurriedly responded, and with a swoosh, he disappeared in front of them. Zhong Feng couldn't help but sigh. Yuling, how unkind. Everyone has their own aspirations. What can I ask for? Without the position of Saint Elder, I am still a high-grade Saint Apothecary. Xing Yashang forced a smile. Indeed, with his identity, he could still have an extremely high position. Their Xing clan wasn't any weaker than any other faction. His loss wasn't small, but it wasn't to the point where he had to die. As for Wang Yuling using this opportunity to leave, he understood that Wang Yuling was intentionally distancing himself from him. He didn't feel comfortable in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. And Lord Xing's talent is very high. You will soon become a top-grade Saint Apothecary. At that time, you will be able to make even more people kneel and beg to be by your side. Zhong Feng flattered. In the next moment, he held his stomach and shouted, "Ouch, my stomach hurts. Maybe I ate something bad in the morning. Lord, I need to go to the toilet first." Zhong Feng left as soon as he said that, disappearing like the wind. Xing Yashang felt a wave of sadness in his heart. A saint at the Starmark realm would have diarrhea from eating something bad? This was simply a huge joke. You bunch of realistic fellows. One day I will make you regret this. Xing Yashang swore in his heart. He didn't have the face to continue staying here. He staggered out of the castle. The bet between Yang Wu and Xing Yashang had come to an end. Everyone outside the tripod city was shocked when they heard the news. This newly promoted Saint Yang Wu. Saint Elder is so powerful. Even Saint Apothecary Xing Yashang isn't a match for him. He is a Saint Apothecary at the silver and green level. Which faction did Lord Yang Wu nurture such a monster? How can he be so powerful? A gold and green level Saint Apothecary. I'm afraid he will be ranked in the top 1,000 on the Saint Apothecary list. Not just in the top 1,000. He will be ranked in the top 500. There are very few top-grade Saint Apothecaries. Not every faction can have one. Yang Wu from the Yang family is only 23 years old. Heavens, did he start cultivating in his mother's womb? He must have obtained a peerless inheritance. No wonder the Xing family is willing to pay such a high price for his life. The news that Yang Wu had become a top-grade Saint Apothecary and was about to be conferred the title of a top-grade Saint Elder by the Apothecary Alliance swept through the transcendent world like a storm. The Divination Pavilion immediately recorded the news. Many major factions learned about it from the Book of Heavenly Secret. In the Xing family's restricted area, all the elders at the saint level and above held an emergency meeting. After a round of discussion, the elders increased the reward for Yang Wu. Anyone who could kill Yang Wu would be rewarded with 1,000,000 high-grade saint stones, 100 saint pills, and a demigod artifact. This reward was like a bomb dropping on the ground. 1,000,000 high-grade saint stones was equivalent to 10 years of income for an ordinary first-rate faction. It was equivalent to 100 years of income for a second-rate faction. The 100 saint pills were also worth more than 1,000,000 high-grade saint stones, not to mention the demigod artifact. A demigod artifact was a divine artifact. Any high-grade saint who obtained it could challenge a top-grade saint, and a top-grade saint could defeat a saint of the same level. The Xing family's reward was even higher than the reward for Yang Wu. Yang Wu's name instantly shot up to the top 1,000 on the bounty list. Every single person in the top 1,000 was a powerful figure. They were all at least high-grade saints. They were important figures in various factions or unrivaled experts among independent cultivators. It was obvious that Yang Wu's importance was no less than theirs. Any top-grade Saint Apothecary could easily establish a first-rate faction by relying on their summoning abilities. This was also the reason why the Xing family was willing to pay such a high price to kill Yang Wu. If Yang Wu returned to the Yang family and used his name to recruit people, who knew how many experts would quickly join him? Moreover, he was so young. Perhaps even a half-step divine alchemist would be willing to protect him and wait for the day he became a divine alchemist. The Yang family also received this news. Yang Jinghai immediately rushed to the forbidden area to see Gong Xilan. After seeing Gong Xilan, he respectfully said, "Great-grandmother, great news, great news." "What's the good news?" Gong Xilan calmly asked from the 9 Lotus Divine Throne. "That brat Yang Wu refined a cauldron of 3 tribulation star-mark pills at the Alchemist Union's main altar and overshadowed Xing Yashang's limelight in one fell swoop. He's about to be conferred the position of a top-tier holy elder in the Alchemist Union. That bastard Xing Yashang, on the other hand, lost a bet with Yang Wu and was resigned from his position as a high-level holy elder. Don't you think this is a joyous occasion?" Yang Jinghai held the Book of Heavenly Secrets in front of Gong Xilan and asked for praise. Gong Xilan instantly flew down from the 9-lotus divine throne. She received the Book of Heaven's Secrets and saw the latest news about Yang Wu. She smiled like a flower and said, "It's finally time for our Yang family to rise again." Chapter 936. The Sun-Devouring Realm. This used to be the territory of the Saint Do tribe. The Saint Do tribe was destroyed by the Death God tribe and other tribes, thus becoming the Death God realm. There was a unique forbidden ground here that was filled with the flames of the sun. Apart from the Golden Crow tribe, no other tribe could withstand the power of the flames of the sun. However, there were no golden crows living here. There was only a huge corpse of a golden crow. After the golden crow died, it shrouded the surroundings like the sun. The golden flames were indestructible, and its body was indestructible. There were 2 creatures beside the corpse. They did not fear the flames of the sun. They were even absorbing the golden flames. The 2 creatures were very young. They looked like apes with needle-like hair all over their bodies. Thick flames lingered on their bodies. They were full of fiery energy. If Yang Wu were here, he would definitely discover that one of the creatures was the transformed skinny monkey. The other creature looked very similar to the skinny monkey, as if they were twins. It was very difficult to tell who was the older brother and who was the younger one. Fortunately, the 2 of them wore completely different clothes. The skinny monkey Sun Do wore a tight-fitting human robe with a long staff on his back. His eyes flickered with golden-red flames from time to time. They were extremely sharp. The other creature was simply wrapped in a beast hide. He held a halberd in his hand. His aura was very dense, and his battle intent was very high. He was the evil spirit from the Saint Do tribe who had used Sun Do to escape. He had used the secret technique of blood regeneration to reconstruct his body. He was no longer residing in Sun Do. His current name was Sun Qian, and he used to be a prince of the Saint Do tribe. I just received news that your big brother Yang Wu has become a peak saint elder of the Alchemist Alliance. That's really impressive, Sun Qian said as he stuffed meat into his mouth. Sun Do replied with a smile, of course. He's my big brother. There's nothing to say about that. He's destined to become the most dazzling figure in this world. Thinking about it, he had been separated from Yang Wu for almost 3 years. He missed Yang Wu very much. Originally, I still looked down on him. Now, it seems that there's a need for you 2 brothers to reunite. After he becomes a divine alchemist, we'll have him recruit troops for us and slaughter the Death God clan, Sun Qian said with a ferocious expression. How could my big brother be willing to submit to others? Even you can't force him to do anything. Sun Do stared at Sun Qian as he spoke. Tisk tsk. You sure talk big. Do you really think you can ignore me now? Sun Qian glared at Sun Do. I've suffered a lot in the past few years, and my strength has increased a lot. It's all thanks to you, but I'm not afraid of the current you, Sun Do said domineeringly. Haha, you are also a bloodline clone created by my essence blood. How dare you speak to me like that? Come, let me teach you how to be a Saint Do warrior. Sun Qian laughed as he swung his halberd at Sun Do. Sun Qian didn't show any mercy. A domineering force enveloped Sun Do. The force wasn't inferior to any half-step saint. However, his body was only a mid-grade minor saint. Sun Do kicked away a rock beside him and smashed his long staff at Sun Qian. His combat strength wasn't to be underestimated. Asterisk bang. Asterisk the 2 Saint Do clans clashed fiercely in the sky. Both of them were only minor saints, but the destructive power of their battle was comparable to a half-step saint. Desolate world. In ancient times, this place was also known as the Desolate Barbarian World. It was connected to the territory of the war race, Xianyuan clan, and was separated by the ancient Yellow River. This place had the most primitive wild mountains and the most ferocious beasts and alien races. It was once the ancestral land of the barbarian race. The ancestor of the barbarian race, Chi-Yu, had boundless brute strength and superior intelligence. With his own strength, he combined the strength of various tribes and unified the deserted world. Chi-Yu did not want to be the overlord of only one region. He wanted to unify the Transcendents, so he went on a campaign in all directions. At that time, many places were invaded by the barbarian race. More than half of the world became their territory. This continued until another peerless genius appeared out of nowhere. He was the Yellow Emperor, one of the former emperors of the human race. He led his people to resist Chi-Yu's barbaric invasion. Finally, after 49 days of intense battle, he defeated Chi-Yu, shattering the barbarian race's ambition to unify the transcendent world. The Yellow Emperor swept away the leaders of the barbarian race. The barbarian race was broken into pieces. In the end, they retreated to the desolate world. The Yellow Emperor occupied the east side of the Yellow River and established the Xianyuan clan. The barbarian race declined day by day. In the end, they withdrew from the desolate world and wandered to a different world. Currently, the desolate world was the territory of the beasts and alien races. Basically, no human dared to set foot in this place. There were countless heavenly treasures in this place. Whoever dared to enter this place wouldn't return empty-handed. The premise was that they had to be able to come out unscathed. There were all kinds of ancient desolate beasts and beasts that were bloodthirsty by nature. There were also many evil plants. There was no need to mention those powerful alien races. They would never allow humans to set foot in the place where they lived. However, in this dangerous desolate world, there was a cute girl carrying a little hay dog. She was riding on a heavy-armored wolf beast, heading towards the depths of the desolate world. This heavy-armored wolf beast was one of the ancient demonic beasts. Its body was huge and its defense was excellent. Its speed was slow. Its realm wasn't weak. It was a peak minor saint. The girl on its back was just a heavenly fish. How could she tame such a demonic beast? This young girl was wearing plain clothes. Perhaps because she had been wandering in the wilderness for many years, her clothes were torn in many places, and one could vaguely see her fair and rosy skin. She looked pure and lovely, and her chest was quite big. Her charming eyes revealed a trace of lovely and moving look, and no matter who saw her, they would feel pity for her. The little hay dog was lying on her chest, turning its body from time to time. It really knew how to enjoy it. As the heavy-armored wolf beast walked, its eyes emitted a yellow light. It bared its fangs and roared angrily. Suddenly, more than 10 beasts appeared in front of them. They weren't as strong as the heavy-armored wolf beast, but the ferocious chi they emitted showed that they weren't afraid of the wolf beast at all. They didn't wait for the wolf beast to launch an attack. They rushed towards the wolf beast, as if they wanted to bite it and devour it. The girl on the back of the heavy-armored wolf beast suddenly spoke in a strange language. There seemed to be an inexplicable force being released from her glabella. It fell on those beasts that were attacking her. Suddenly, they stopped attacking and let out strange cries as if they were responding to the girl. The girl jumped down from the heavy-armored wolf beast. She kept talking with a pure smile on her face. She even walked towards those beasts as if she wasn't afraid of them at all. The beasts' eyes became a little confused until the girl gently stroked their foreheads. Then, they obediently lay down, as docile as kittens. They didn't have the slightest bit of fierceness. "You guys are so obedient. I know you're all hungry. I have some meat here. Take it and eat it." The girl's yin and yang ring flashed. Monster meat appeared, and she shared it with the beasts. The beasts were very happy. Some even naughtily rubbed themselves against her body to express their gratitude. The little hay dog in the girl's arms opened its eyes and said, "Little man, your beast-taming talent awakened very quickly, but it's still not enough. They're just ordinary beasts. When you can control those sacred beasts, you'll be considered a true master." "Then, can I go find the young master at that time?" the girl asked expectantly. "Of course. When you have the ability to protect yourself, you won't have to be afraid of others hurting you." The little hay dog replied. I have the ability to protect myself now. I'm so strong. I just want to see the young master as soon as possible. The girl clenched her fists and said confidently. Then do you still want to protect your young master? The little hay dog used its trump card. The girl's eyes flashed with determination. Of course I do. Then you have to tame at least 3 sacred beasts for your own use. Only then can you protect your young master. He's a troublemaker. The young master won't cause trouble. Those people are the ones who provoked him. No matter who provoked him, you have to tame sacred beasts if you want to find him. Alright, 3 sacred beasts might not be enough. You have to tame at least 6 or even 8. That way, no one will dare to bully the young master. Xianyuan clan's restricted area. A fairy-like girl was reading the latest intelligence report. After a while, a charming expression appeared on her face as she muttered, After 3 days, I have a whole new level of respect for you. I didn't expect you to reach this step after we parted at War God City. You're truly worthy of being able to reach the 12th level of War God Pagoda with this princess. However, your alchemy skills have become famous, but has your combat strength fallen behind? Don't disappoint this princess when the Dragon Phoenix rankings are held. The report fell from her fingertip. Suddenly, a wisp of flame appeared, and the report turned into ashes. The girl walked out of the restricted area, and her body emitted a fiery aura. There seemed to be the cry of a phoenix in the sky. Hundreds of birds flew around, and her aura was extremely shocking. Everyone in the Xianyuan clan was shocked. Purple Firmament Palace, one of the 3 halls. Their palace was built in the lightning region. Lightning flashed all year round, and the lightning mystic chi was extremely dense. A purple-haired girl was trapped in a forbidden area. Lightning was wreaking havoc in this place. It was extremely dangerous. Even semi-sage experts were rarely able to survive in this place. The purple-haired girl brandished her sword, and hacked the lightning into pieces. There were even more inexplicable attacks that were blocked by her. However, there were too many attacking forces in this place. Her body was battered and exhausted. Her tender skin had many lacerations and blood oozed out. Purple Yu, do you know your mistake? An old woman's voice echoed in this forbidden area. The purple-haired girl's eyes flowed with the power of lightning as she replied, What did I do wrong? Your mistake was to kneel to heaven and earth with a wild man. Even now, you still don't know how to repent. As the Purple Firmament Hall Saintess, your every action is related to the Purple Firmament Hall's reputation. Who allowed you to marry secretly? I make my own decisions about my marriage. No one can make decisions for me, including you. Hee, that's great. The man you married is now in the top 1,000 on the bounty list. It won't be long before he dies. You should forget about him. Your best husband will be arranged in the palace. Chapter 937. Tripod City. The Xing family's base was located here, and it was convenient for them to trade with the Apothecary Alliance. They could obtain large quantities of medicinal herbs and medicinal pills, and because of their relationship with Xing Yashang, they were able to enjoy great benefits. This was one of the main reasons why the Xing family had been able to grow stronger over the years. Xing Yashang was the true master of the base. Every time he returned, he would receive warm greetings from his subordinates and receive worshipful gazes. On this day, he returned in a daze, listening to the greetings of his subordinates and seeing their hypocritical expressions of respect. They didn't seem to be as warm and friendly as before, and he couldn't help but feel sullen. He hadn't been crippled. He had merely lost his position as a holy elder. Why did everyone feel like he was a piece of trash? He was a high-level alchemist, and had the power to rally supporters. It wouldn't be long before he became a top-tier alchemist. Who could ignore him? Holy Elder, what's wrong? If you're not feeling well, I'll give you a massage, said a charming young woman in a low voice as she approached Xing Yashang. Her looks weren't bad, and her figure was top-notch. She must have been a beauty when she was young, and she had taken good care of herself. However, if you looked closely, you could see the traces of time on her face. If it was in the past, Xing Yashang would have agreed and let her serve him well. But now, his mood was at its worst. He slapped the young woman away and shouted angrily, "Scram! All of you, scram! Don't stay here and be an eyesore. I don't need your pity." Everyone in the courtyard was terrified. Most of them dropped to their knees, not daring to make a sound. The fury of a holy elder wasn't something they could endure. "Holy elder, what's the point of venting your anger on these subordinates? They're not the main culprits," said a voice. Xing Yashang's eyes widened, and he looked in a certain direction. Where did this scoundrel come from? Show yourself. That person didn't appear, but a black shadow appeared not far from Xing Yashang. His true body was nowhere to be seen. It was a very strange sight. The phantom race? Xing Yashang frowned. "You don't need to know what race I am. I just want to work with you. Would you like to discuss this?" said the shadow. "You won't even show your true body. With such sincerity, there's nothing to talk about. I'm afraid I'll scare you if I reveal my true form. I only want to ask you, do you want Yang Wu's life? Anyone can take the head on the bounty list." Apothecary's Alliance Castle. After a day of recuperation, Yang Wu's body was almost fully recovered. The heavenly thunder bone had undergone a new round of tempering and became even tougher. Each bone was no less than a holy weapon. The new skin and flesh looked very tender, but in fact, they had already reached the realm of invulnerability. Ordinary attacks could not hurt him at all. The state of the holy body was evolving, and every improvement was not easy. If Yang Wu did not have the Nine Thunders reshaping body technique, he would not only not have the effect of tempering his body, but also have many hidden injuries that could not be healed. Yang Wu discovered that his electric fork talent, when combined with the divine weapon electric fork, could unleash an even more terrifying lightning aura. Not only could it block the power of the heavenly lightning, but it could also use the power of the heavenly lightning to enhance his offensive and defensive abilities. The electric fork talent seemed to be a skill that could be used with the divine weapon electric fork. My physical strength has increased a lot, and my Xian Qi has also increased a lot. However, the power of my bloodline has not been completely replenished. It seems that I need to ask the Alliance if they have any holy items that can replenish blood, or something good like black tortoise blood essence. I need to solve this problem as soon as possible so that I can advance to the intermediate dragon transformation realm, Yang Wu muttered to himself. He stood up and walked out of the room. Blue Phoenix and the silver-patterned turtle had been guarding outside. Blue Phoenix had chased away the young women of the old man. The 9 young women of the Little Saint Pharmacists were attracted by Yang Wu's talent in alchemy. They had made the decision to abandon the old man, but unfortunately, Blue Phoenix's demonic aura scared them away. Otherwise, Yang Wu would definitely be eaten by them when he walked out of the room. At the same time, the Alliance had already arranged a private pavilion for Yang Wu. That was the privilege of a peak holy elder. Yang Wu could move in right now. When Yang Wu came out, the old man came out of nowhere and said, "Good boy, this old man will fight you to the death today." Yang Wu looked at the menacing old Zue and asked, "Old Zue, what are you doing? I didn't offend you, did I?" "You haven't offended me yet, but you've attracted all of this old man's beauties. This old man's position in their hearts is rapidly declining. In the future, if this old man wants to touch their little hands or pat their butts, I won't even have the right to do so. How do you think this matter should be resolved?" Old man Zue said to Yang Wu, his face reeking of alcohol. Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, "You've wronged me. I didn't do anything." "You didn't do anything? Can't you keep a low profile? Don't be so flashy. You've caught up to this old man so quickly. How can this old man endure this?" the old man said with a pained heart. Yang Wu said helplessly, "Old Zue, someone as outstanding as me can't hide it no matter how low profile I try." He paused for a moment and said, but no matter how outstanding I am, it's all because of you. You're almost catching up to my teacher." When the old man heard this, he let Yang Wu go. He patted Yang Wu's shoulder and said with satisfaction, "You don't forget the person who dug the well. Not bad, not bad. Kid, I have high hopes for you." Yang Wu nodded and said, "Of course. No one can replace old Zue in my heart." He then said, "Old Zue, I want to ask if the Alliance has any good blood tonics?" "Blood tonics? The kind that women use every few days of the month?" The old man reacted quickly and said with a wink. Yang Wu slapped his forehead and said with a defeated expression, "I used up a lot of blood essence in the Dan family. I haven't completely recovered yet. I want to solve this problem as soon as possible so that it doesn't affect my cultivation." "I see. It seems the Dan family owes you too much." The old man suddenly understood. He muttered to himself and said, "There are many blood tonics, and there are many sacred items. However, blood essence cannot be completely recovered just by supplementing it. You have to find something suitable for yourself. Since we don't have much to do today, I'll take you to Tripod City for a stroll. In particular, we have to take a look at the largest pill and herb trading center in the transcendent world, the Alchemy Department." The Alchemy Department was an extremely special place in Tripod City. It was the largest pill trading center under the Apothecary Alliance's jurisdiction. It was also the largest pill trading center in the entire transcendent world. When Yang Wu followed the old man to the Alchemy Department, he felt that his brain wasn't enough to process it. He always thought that it was just a slightly larger trading center, but when he saw the large area in front of him, he was shocked silly. How was this a courtyard? It wasn't even an exaggeration to say that it was the foundation of a large power. There were many pavilions here, and each pavilion sold all kinds of pills, herbs, demon cores, spirit liquids, and so on. There were also many places that had medicine fields. These fields were planted with all kinds of herbs. There were spirit herbs, king herbs, heavenly herbs. These herbs were all for customers to pick. Freshly picked herbs were more expensive, but many alchemists were willing to pay a high price for fresh herbs. This way, the essence of the herbs would be richer. There were large arrays crisscrossing this place, condensing dense heaven and earth profound chi. Every area was isolated by an array, and every place could be opened to the outside world. However, the prerequisite was that there were enough profound spirit stones. Yang Wu said in surprise, "This large area belongs to the Alchemy Department?" The old man nodded his head and proudly smiled, "Of course. Moreover, this old man is the dean here. Do you believe me?" Yang Wu glanced sideways at old drunkard's smug look and instantly believed him. Blue Phoenix and Silver Patterned Tortoise had no choice but to believe him. The old man had an extraordinary position in the Alchemist Alliance. Even if he wasn't a divine alchemist, it shouldn't be hard for him to manage an alchemy department. The old man walked with crab steps and led Yang Wu, Blue Phoenix, and Silver Patterned Tortoise towards the entrance. When the Dragon Transformation Realm guards saw the old man, they quickly bowed. "Greetings, Lord Dean. No need for formalities. This is Yang Wu, the Saint Alchemist. In 2 days, he will be our Alliance's top sacred elder. When you see him come in, you must not stop him or charge him. Do you understand?" The old man pointed at Yang Wu and said. When the guards saw Yang Wu, they were stunned for a moment before bowing again. "Greetings, Lord Yang Wu." At this time, the people passing by all heard Yang Wu's name and began to surround Yang Wu. "Damn it, I forgot about these idiots. Come in with me." The old man looked at the people around him and called out. He quickly pulled Yang Wu into the alchemy department. "Lord Yang Wu, please don't leave. I haven't had the chance to admire you." Was that really Lord Yang Wu? He looked like an 18-year-old youth. Did we get the wrong person? Are you blind? The one who spoke was the old man. Who else could it be but Yang Wu? Let's go in and take a look. He is the youngest golden green level saint alchemist in history. He has the highest chance of becoming a divine alchemist in the future. Yes, yes. Let's go and recognize him. If we can ask him for some alchemy advice, it will be enough to last us a lifetime. Most of the people in front of the alchemy department were alchemists. When Yang Wu's name spread, they were filled with admiration. They were even more excited to see him in person. Regardless of whether they were young or old, they all worshipped him from the bottom of their hearts. "Kid, are you very proud?" the old man asked after bringing Yang Wu into the alchemy department. "What is there to be proud of?" Yang Wu asked back. "So many people are worshipping you. Don't you young people like to enjoy this kind of feeling the most? Don't pretend with this old man. It is quite enjoyable, but it is also very troublesome. Your words don't match your heart. When you become a divine alchemist in the future, won't you be in the sky? It seems like I am already in the sky." Chapter 938. The alchemy department was indeed the largest trading center in the transcendent realm. There were a total of 36 pavilions for alchemy and herb trading here. Each building was divided into 3 floors, and each floor had a large number of alchemy and herbs. There were all kinds of alchemy and herbs, and they were also open to spirit Yao and other races. As long as one had enough mystic spirit stones and saint stones, they could come here to purchase alchemy and herbs. Many spirit Yao and other races would often come here to purchase alchemy and herbs. They would also sell some herbs to the alchemy department, and the two parties had a cooperative relationship. There were no sectarian or racial differences here. As long as one had money, they could squander it here. Yang Wu was more curious about how the herb fields were created. He also wanted to have a herb field of his own. The planting immortal art he had passed on to his mother was actually an immortal art that could be used to grow herbs. While growing herbs, one's cultivation would also increase. It could also be used to adjust one's body and cultivate an immortal body. It was very suitable for a gentlewoman like his mother. Old Zue didn't mind explaining to Yang Wu that most of the herbs in the herb fields were transplanted here and were taken care of by herbalists. They were also supported by array formations to allow them to grow. If one wanted to cultivate a herb field, they would need good quality soil. Otherwise, who knew how long it would take to cultivate high-grade herbs? Yang Wu knew that this wasn't something that could be done overnight. He memorized these words and waited for the right opportunity to do it in the future. There are a total of 36 pavilions in the alchemy department. Each pavilion is managed by a pavilion elder, and each pavilion elder is at least a top-notch little saint alchemist. 6 of the pavilions sell saint pills and saint herbs, and they are managed by saint elders. I'll call a maid to accompany you around. When you're done, come to the 36th courtyard. I'll wait for you there. Old Zue introduced and called over a beautiful woman. This was also a young maid. Yang Wu instantly understood old Zue's taste. He liked women who looked mature but didn't lose their beauty. "Greetings, headmaster," the woman said with a smile. "Lan Lan, show Elder Yang Wushing around and introduce him to the situation here." "I'll go see those old guys first," Old Man Zue said, and walked towards the depths of the alchemy department. The beautiful eyes of the woman named Lan Lan shifted to Yang Wu, and she spoke coquettishly, "Greetings, Lord Yang Wu. This little girl admires you very much." It had to be said that this woman's voice was very soft, causing Yang Wu's heart to beat a little faster. Especially when she was doing the 10,000 blessings, the bottomless chasm in front of her chest made him feel that it was unfathomable. Qing Feng frowned. She felt that the woman in front of her was more like a demon than her. "Well, take me for a stroll." Yang Wu rubbed his hot nose and said indifferently. He had to act cold and aloof, lest these demons devour him until there was nothing left. Lan Lan didn't mind Yang Wu's indifferent attitude. With a charming smile, she led Yang Wu to the first medicine pavilion. The medicine pavilion here traded some common medicinal pills and herbs. There were a lot of them, and there were the most people here. The scene was very lively. Yang Wu glanced around and didn't stay for too long. This place was too crowded. It was similar to the pill pavilion outside, but there was more variety. There wasn't anything he needed. He walked through several medicine pavilions in a row, and only then did he realize how extraordinary the medicine department was. Almost every building here had some second tribulation and third tribulation pills, and they were sold at a higher price than the outside world. However, there were still many creatures who bought them because these pills were labeled with which alchemists refine them. This small label was especially attractive to customers. Many customers were willing to spend a lot of money for some of the alchemists they admired, so they didn't care about the price. When Yang Wu went to the 5th medicine pavilion, he saw an old tree on the side of the road. There were 49 fruits hanging from the tree, and each fruit was shining with a sparkling light. It was very tempting. Yang Wu's gaze fell on the label on the tree. It said, "Green peach tree, planted for 1,500 years. Every 500 years it will bear fruit. Each fruit has healing properties and can fill the stomach for 30 days. It is a top-grade healing medicine." Lon Lon gently explained, "This is the 3rd time the green peach tree has borne fruit. It will mature soon, and customers will be allowed to buy it. The highest bidder will get it. In the end, the customer will personally pick it." City people really know how to play. Yang Wu couldn't help but sigh. There were herbs everywhere in the alchemy department. Even some inconspicuous flowers planted in the corners of the medicine pavilion could be spirit flowers or spirit herbs. They couldn't be casually stepped on, or else there would be a formation blocking them. This was the difference between the alchemy department and the medicine pavilion. Yang Wu's group continued to walk along the cobblestone path. According to Lon Lan's introduction, the first 5 medicine pavilions had the most people. They also sold the most common pills and herbs outside. After reaching the 5th medicine pavilion, they would be divided into different categories. Some specialized in healing, some specialized in increasing cultivation, and some specialized in tempering. The further one went into the medicine pavilion, the higher the grade of the pills and herbs they sold. Yang Wu, Qing Feng, and the silver-patterned tortoise all had their horizons broadened. Especially the silver-patterned tortoise, when it saw a dozen tortoise grass in the 6th medicine pavilion. It couldn't wait to pounce on them and eat them. In the 8th medicine pavilion, Qing Feng also saw a blood phoenix grass. It was a pity that its grade was a bit low. Otherwise, she would have bought it. Qing Feng was a rich woman. She had bet her entire fortune on Yang Wu and won 5 times the amount of holy stones. She was still worried about how to spend it. She didn't tell Yang Wu. Moreover, Yang Wu wouldn't be lacking in holy stones. If Yang Wu knew, he would definitely cry, "I'm lacking in holy stones. I'm lacking in holy stones." 2 days ago, 4 of the 3 tribulation star mark pills he refined were taken away by the Alchemy Union. They said that it was a rule. The ingredients he used to refine the pills were provided by the Alchemy Union, so it wasn't excessive for them to take away a quarter of the pills. For example, one of the 3 pills refined by Xing Yashang was also taken away. The higher one's status, the smaller the cut. If Yang Wu had used his own ingredients to refine the pills, the Alchemy Union naturally wouldn't take them away. Yang Wu had 12 star mark pills on him. To anyone, he was rich. As long as he took them out to trade, he would be so rich that even saints would be jealous. Yang Wu naturally wouldn't keep all of them. Other than the holy firestone, he didn't have any other holy stones. He was thinking about how to trade a few holy pills. Only with holy stone in hand would he be able to buy medicinal ingredients and earn more holy stone. Even though he was still in the dragon transformation realm, he definitely wouldn't mind having a large amount of holy stones. Yang Wu's group continued to walk in. They didn't buy any pills or herbs. Lan Lan's eyes flashed with a hint of sadness. However, when she thought of Yang Wu's status, she didn't dare to have any thoughts. It wasn't worth it for that little bit of profit. At this moment, 3 people came over. There were 2 women and a man. The domineering woman standing in the middle like an empress was Chao Jifei. She wore an alchemist's robe and had a bronze badge on her chest. She was at the same level as Yang Wu's alchemist. The man and woman beside her were both very young, but their auras were quite extraordinary. They had both reached the dragon transformation realm. They were a young couple. The man was called Zhu Guanzhou. He had a cold and resolute personality. The woman was called Chen Jing. She had an average appearance and was very beautiful. They weren't over 100 years old, but they had reached their current strength. They were definitely strong contenders for the Dragon Phoenix rankings. They were also Chao Jifei's followers. Chao Jifei saw Yang Wu, and Yang Wu also saw her. The 2 unexpectedly met and stopped at the same time. Their eyes met in midair and didn't look away for a long time. Chao Jifei had once stopped Yang Wu from joining the Alchemist Alliance. She only wanted to see if he had the qualifications to become a saint alchemist. She didn't have any selfish motives. Yang Wu didn't know Chao Jifei, but this woman had once opposed him joining the Alchemist Alliance. He didn't know what she was thinking. This woman gave him a breathtaking feeling. Among all the women he knew, only Xianyuan Huowu's aura could compare to hers. Even Ziyu didn't have this kind of emperor's aura. This kind of woman innately gave people a feeling that it was difficult to conquer. The atmosphere became a little strange, but it was interrupted by Lan Lan's voice. She bowed and greeted Chao Jifei. "Greetings, Lady Consort Ji." Chao Jifei waved her hand at Lan Lan and asked Yang Wu, "Is this your first time in the alchemy department?" Her voice was like a heavenly curse, making people unable to get tired of hearing it. This was also one of the reasons why Yang Wu could not hate this woman. Yang Wu slightly nodded and said, "Yes, it's my first time here. I want to broaden my horizons. I'll show you around," Chao Jifei calmly said. Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jing, who were beside him, were stunned. When had they ever seen their young miss take the initiative to invite a man? This was definitely the first time. Yang Wu couldn't find any reason to refuse. He lightly replied, "Okay." Thus, Lan Lan was sent away by Chao Jifei. Chao Jifei personally brought Yang Wu inside. Chao Jifei pointed at a pavilion and said, "Over there is the 10th medicine pavilion. It mainly sells pills from the various branches. The quality is between 1 tribulation pill and the various styles are very messy. It's not worth looking at. Over there is the 11th medicine pavilion. It mainly sells pills from the medicine sect. The quality is a little better than the pill clans, but there's nothing special about it. The only thing worth paying attention to is the Dragon Soul pill. It's comparable to the Dragon Tiger pill of the Dragon Tiger sect. It can strengthen the muscles and bones." Chapter 939. Chao Jifei held the position of vice principal in the medicine department, so she was very familiar with this place. She explained the situation of each building to Yang Wu. In an instant, Yang Wu understood the situation of each building. He praised in his heart, "Amazing. You saved me a lot of time." Originally, Yang Wu wanted to take a good look around here, but after hearing Chao Jifei's explanation, he lost his reason and went directly to Building 28. From Building 28 onward, there were high-grade pills and herbs. Chao Jifei recommended that he take a good look. If there was anything he needed, as long as he said his name, he would be able to get a 50% discount. Yang Wu said gratefully, "Thank you, Mississippi. Miss Chao. If it weren't for your introduction, I probably would have spent half a day to understand the situation here." Originally, Yang Wu wanted to call her Holy Elder Chao, but when it came to his mouth, he changed his mind. She was a beautiful girl, so calling her Holy Elder was not very nice. Chao Jifei looked at Yang Wu with her big round eyes and said, "No need to thank me. Even if I didn't introduce you, you would only have spent a little more time. You are a top Holy Elder after all. It's not worth wasting your time on this." Yang Wu felt that the other party was too good with words, and his impression of her improved a lot. He replied, It's not as serious as you say. The scale of the medicine department is too big. It's an eye-opener to be able to take a good look around, especially the herbs that are planted here. Letting the customers pick them directly is a practice that is rarely seen elsewhere. Chao Jifei said, transplanting and using formations to accelerate the growth are still not as strong as wild herbs. That seems to be the case. Yang Wu was stunned for a moment. He thought about it, and it was indeed as Chao Jifei said. These herbs seemed to be growing well, but when he carefully sensed them, they seemed to lack the taste of wild growth. Their medicinal properties were relatively weak. It's difficult to have everything done well. It's normal to have gains and losses. Chao Jifei sighed. Then, she looked at Yang Wu seriously and asked, Are you really only 23 years old? This topic changed too quickly, and Yang Wu was stumped by the question. Yang Wu touched the bridge of his nose and asked, Doesn't it look like it? Hee, you don't look like one. Chao Jifei laughed. After a pause, she added, You look like you're 18 years old. Her smile was like the radiance of the rising sun. The earth was instantly filled with infinite colors. Yang Wu was stunned. He couldn't help but say, You're so beautiful. What an unlucky fellow. Zhu Guanzhou could not stop himself from sneering inwardly. Chao Jifei was not an ordinary woman. Ordinary sweet words were frivolous words to her. She would never give any good face. Zhu Guanzhou had such an idea. He felt that Yang Wu was definitely going to be unlucky. Chen Jiying on the side also thought so. Those who took liberties with her young miss would not have a good ending. Who would have thought that not only did Chao Jifei not flip out, she even smiled even more happily and said, Your praise is not creative, but I like it. Yang Wu's old face instantly turned red. He turned his face and said, I was rude to the beauty. Chao Jifei just happened to see the side of Yang Wu's face turn red. Her heart inexplicably trembled. She could not help but praise in her heart, so cute. Since she was young, who knew how many people had praised her? She was indeed numb to it. However, she did not know why Yang Wu's praise did not make her feel disgusted. Instead, she felt a sense of joy that she had not felt for a long time. It was just like when her master praised her for her outstanding talent in alchemy. Because Yang Wu's words came from the bottom of his heart. His eyes did not have any wretched look. There was no sense of invasion. It was as if he was praising a beautiful scenery without any distracting thoughts. She had not met such a person for a long time. At first, she thought that Yang Wu was pretending. Along the way, she had carefully paid attention to him. He had always been very calm, very natural, not restrained, not pretending to be a gentleman. He treated her like an ordinary friend. He knew propriety, was polite, and got along with her naturally and comfortably. Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jiying were both stunned. They had rarely seen their young miss smile so freely and naturally. She had always been a woman who was good at concealing her inner feelings. She seemed to be close to anyone, but she would also give people a feeling that she was out of reach. The only one who could really get close to her was the high and mighty Alliance Master. Even young Master Yao Wushuang did not have such qualifications. What did Yang Wu do to deserve such a special treatment from their young miss? Could it be that because he was handsome, young, and outstanding in alchemy, she saw him in a different light? Young talents like him, how many of them had they not seen? Although those young talents were a bit older than Yang Wu, which one of them was not a top-notch monstrous talent of various forces? They were even famous overlords. Yang Wu was just a rising star. Even if his charm was comparable to those young talents, it should be the first time their young miss had spoken to him face to face. How could he make their young miss look at him differently? If Chao Jifei knew what they were thinking, she would definitely laugh even more happily. She was a human, not a god. It was normal for her to have 7 emotions and 6 desires. In the past, she had concealed it well, but it did not mean that she did not have them. Now that she was facing Yang Wu, she suddenly had a kind of view of him as a younger brother. Yang Wu followed Chao Jifei's group to the 28th Medicine Pavilion. The types of pills and herbs here were indeed much smaller than the previous ones, but the value of each one was very high. It was not something that ordinary people could afford. Yang Wu also found something that moved him here. Dragon marrow liquid. He had once obtained it at the border of the hidden sky realm. He still had some left in the universe space. The dragon marrow liquid was very useful to dragon transformation realm warriors. It was even more useful to many spirit demon pens, such as the snake race and flood dragon race. Yang Wu raised Yang Zhenlong, this cheap son, and needed a large amount of dragon marrow liquid to help him grow. Therefore, he did not hesitate to buy it. Although the dragon marrow liquid is good for tempering the body, it is not as good as true dragon blood essence, or phoenix blood essence. Chao Jifei said from the side. You have the blood of both true dragons and phoenixes? Yang Wu asked. Chao Jifei nodded and said, of course. These rare items are all collected behind the 30th building. Especially in the last building, the 36th Medicine Pavilion, you will be dazzled by the selection. That's great. I will go take a look later. Yang Wu said excitedly. Qing Feng, who was beside Yang Wu, also had an excited expression. She wanted a portion of phoenix blood essence. This kind of thing was too rare. Since it was actually sold here, she definitely did not want to miss it. All these years, her strength had stagnated. It was because her bloodline power could not be improved. Moreover, her grandmother could not leave the family and could not help her. This time, she finally encountered an opportunity that belonged to her. Yang Wu was not in a hurry. He still needed to pick some useful herbs. Sometimes, the higher the grade of the herbs, the more useful they were. As for the pills here, he did not have any interest in them. He was a top-tier saint alchemist and had a large number of pill recipes. He could not refine any pill unless it was a divine pill. Only then would it be worthy of his attention. This was not because he was arrogant. This was the truth. As long as he had enough herbs, he could refine pills. Moreover, he was confident that the quality of the pills he refined would not be inferior to others. After Yang Wu bought a few more herbs, Chao Jifei could not help but say, "Don't buy any more. In 2 days you will be a top-tier elder of the Alliance. At that time you can make a list and let your subordinates buy it for you. Everything can be recorded in the account. You can pay with Saint Stones or do missions for the Alliance and use the pills to deduct." Is this okay? Yang Wu was stunned for a moment. Why not? The Alliance also has a medicine hall. As long as the medicine hall has it, it will give you priority to find it. Even if it doesn't have it, the Alliance will find it for you from other places. You don't have to worry about it. Chao Jifei explained. I understand. This is also the benefit of becoming a holy elder. Yang Wu suddenly understood. Chao Jifei pursed her lips and nodded, and, if there were no benefits, who would be a holy elder? Only Chao Jifei would dare to say such words. Okay, then let's continue shopping and see what good things there are. I will make a list of them later. Yang Wu agreed. Next up, Yang Wu saw many rare items in the medicine pavilion. For example, the Holy Spirit fruit, the jade marrow liquid, the 1,000-leaf flower, all of them were sacred artifacts that were rarely seen in the world. And yet, all of them could be found here. One of them was the blood-mustering vine that he urgently needed. The blood-mustering vine was incomparably difficult to find. It looked like an ordinary vine on the outside, but the stem was filled with red essence. It was a holy item that could stimulate the recovery of blood vessels. Its medicinal properties were quite strong. This blood-mustering vine was worth 10,000 low-grade saint stones. It was more expensive than ordinary holy herb. It was rare, and there was only half of it here. Yang Wu couldn't wait for 2 more days. He wanted to buy the blood-mustering vine on the spot, but he realized that he didn't have any saint stones. Lord Yang Wu, you are our holy elder. You only need to pay 5,000 low-grade saint stones. The shopkeeper took the blood-mustering vine and handed it to Yang Wu. Yang Wu's face was a little hot. I seem to have forgotten to bring saint stones. Can I use saint pills to offset it? Chao Jifei was surprised. You are a saint alchemist. You don't have saint stones? Yang Wu scratched the back of his head and laughed dryly. I haven't been a saint alchemist for long, so I haven't earned any saint stones yet. After saying this, Yang Wu's face was burning hot. A grand saint alchemist didn't even have a single saint stone. This was too embarrassing. At this time, Qing Feng took the initiative to take out a saint stone and handed it to the shopkeeper. She said to Yang Wu, "Young master, your saint stones are with me." Yang Wu looked at Qing Feng with gratitude, but he didn't feel good in his heart. It was too embarrassing in front of a beauty. Hee, you are really an interesting guy. Chao Jifei couldn't help but tease him. She didn't have any intention of ridiculing him. She just felt that Yang Wu's current appearance was too cute. If this matter was spread out, who knew how many people would laugh their heads off? Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jing almost couldn't hold it in. Was this saint alchemist a fake? Chapter 940. The alchemy department was the trading place with the most pills and herbs in the entire transcendent realm. People from all over the world loved to come here to purchase pills and herbs whenever they had the time. There were many pills and herbs that they couldn't find anywhere else. They could easily find them here as long as they had enough money. The alchemy department didn't just sell pills and herbs, it also purchased them. Many rogue cultivator factions liked to take risks and search for opportunities in the mountains and forests. From there, they obtained many herbs that they didn't need. They would then trade them with the Alchemy Alliance. The Alchemy Alliance's price was much more generous than other places. In addition, the Alchemy Alliance also cooperated with many factions. They sold pills or traded pills in exchange for large amounts of herbs. These resources fused together to create the Alchemy Alliance's Golden Age. This was also the series of methods that Xiang Dingtian used to develop the Alchemy Alliance. Everyone gave him face. He was also known as the #1 alchemist or the alliance leader of the Alchemy Alliance by the overlords of the Transcendent Realm. Xiang Dingtian was one of the top overlords of the Transcendent Realm. The alchemy department was a place with many people vying for the position of dean. In the end, Xiang Dingtian gave the position to Old Drunkard. There was a lot of controversy back then. Old Drunkard had enough qualifications, but he couldn't take the step of becoming a divine apothecary. Everyone felt that he didn't have the qualifications, but Xiang Dingtian stood his ground and forcefully replaced Old Drunkard. Old Drunkard didn't let Xiang Dingtian down. He managed the Alchemy Alliance well. His income increased year after year, and his reputation remained good. It wasn't easy at all. This was also one of the benefits that Old Drunkard won by appointing Chao Jifei as the vice dean. In the alchemy department there were sacred elders from the alchemy sect, alchemy clan, and other alchemists. They all had their own plans and wanted to benefit from the alchemy department. However, Chao Jifei didn't care about these factions. She worked together with Old Drunkard to split their profit. She also forced them to restrain themselves and work for the alchemy department seriously. It could be said that the cooperation of the old and young won the approval of many sacred elders. It supported the Alchemy Alliance's huge profit. The matter of Chao Jifei personally leading the way for Yang Wu had long spread out in the medicinal pill department. Not only was Chao Jifei the vice principal, she was also the last disciple of the Alliance Master. She was deeply favored by the Alliance Master, and in the future, she would have the opportunity to take over the position of the Alliance Master. Her status was extremely noble, and she had always kept herself clean. There were no rumors of her having any scandals with anyone. Even Yao Wushuang, who was close to her, she deliberately kept her distance, not to mention the other young talents who were pursuing her. Today, for the first time ever, she took the initiative to accompany Yang Wu around the alchemy department. This matter spread like a storm. Yao Wushuang was the first to receive the news. His face twitched a little as he faintly said to the person who came to report, "Go and tell those who are pursuing Junior Sister, especially those 2 or 3 hot-tempered guys. Let them teach that brat a lesson." "Master, do they have the guts?" someone in the dark replied. "If they don't even have the guts, then what right do they have to pursue Junior Sister? Go and let them know about this matter." Yao Wushuang coldly said, "Yes." The person in the dark responded and silently disappeared. Yao Wushuang played with a wisp of true flame. The flame fluctuated between high and low, illuminating his handsome face with a cold light. He muttered to himself, "I originally wanted to let you live a little longer, but it seems that there is no need for that." Chao Jifei's pursuers were as numerous as carps crossing the river. Moreover, each and every one of them was a peerless genius. Only this kind of person with great confidence had the courage to pursue her. Ordinary geniuses wouldn't even be able to speak properly in front of her, let alone pursue her. In Ding City, there were 3 fellows who had always been thinking about Chao Jifei. These 3 fellows all had powerful backing behind them. None of them had a simple background. They were the Dan clan's Dan Li, the Radiant cult's Child of Light Jing Qian, and Kunlun Mountain's Jin Yuqian. Dan Li was the oldest of the 3, but he was also extremely young among saint alchemists. Just like Yao Wushuang, he was less than 200 years old and had reached the realm of copper saint alchemists. His talent was only slightly inferior to Yao Wushuang's. Many people believed that if Dan Li were to become Xiang Dingtian's disciple, he wouldn't be any worse than Yao Wushuang. Unfortunately, Dan Li didn't have such an opportunity. Fortunately, the Dan clan had given him a lot of resources. He also worked hard and became a saint alchemist at such a young age. He didn't lose face for the Dan clan. Dan Li was originally just a guy who wholeheartedly cultivated alchemy, but ever since he met Chao Jifei, he had fallen in love with her at first sight. He had madly pursued Chao Jifei, and once, in order to see her, he had waited outside her seclusion room for a total of 49 days. Regardless of wind or rain, he had bitterly waited. This kind of infatuation was enough to move the heavens and earth, but unfortunately, it was not enough to move Chao Jifei. After Chao Jifei came out of seclusion, the first thing she said to him was, "When you become a divine alchemist, come and bother me again. This young lady doesn't care for a saint alchemist." This sentence announced to everyone that Chao Jifei's husband had to be at least a divine alchemist or someone who could stand on the same level as a divine alchemist. Not only did this sentence not affect Dan Li's confidence, it made him even crazier. After 5 years of seclusion, he went from a peak little saint alchemist to an iron alchemist. Then, he spent another 3 years to become a copper alchemist. It could be said that in less than 10 years, he went from a peak little saint alchemist to a copper alchemist. This speed was extremely fast. Yao Wushuang was also forced to become a silver alchemist in these 2 years. As Xiang Dingtian's disciple, it was very embarrassing to be surpassed by someone of the same generation. Moreover, the medicine sect and the Dan clan had always been in a competitive relationship. He couldn't be weaker than Dan Li. Dan Li had been a copper alchemist for 2 years. Recently, he only came out to see Chao Jifei. Then, he chose to go into seclusion to improve his alchemy skills. He hoped to become a silver alchemist as soon as possible. When he heard that Chao Jifei took the initiative to invite a young man to the alchemy department, he came out of seclusion without hesitation. "Jifei, didn't you say that only godly alchemists can enter your eyes? You can't like others in advance." A slovenly man rushed out of the seclusion room and shouted. The Radiant Church wasn't far from the Kunlun Mountains. They were founded at the Radiant Peak. It was said to be the place closest to the sky. The Son of Light, Jing Qian, was a monster of the Radiant Church. Those who were called the Son of Light were usually one of the candidates for the young church master. Jing Qian was a strong contender for the Dragon Emperor title in the previous Heavenly Dragon ranking. He had fought with the Saints' sons, saintesses, and young sect masters of various major forces. Unfortunately, he was defeated. However, he was still ranked 28th on the Heavenly Dragon ranking. Even though he wasn't in the top 10, he still represented one of the strongest forces of his generation. Even the Yang clan head, Yang Jinghai, was only ranked in the top 1,000. He was even stronger than Yang Jinghai. He had entered the Astral Rune Realm long ago. Moreover, he had reached the Grade 2 Astral Rune Realm. The Radiant Church had a spatial gate that led directly to the Tripod City. Other than cultivating, Jing Qian liked to come to the Tripod City most of the time. His target was naturally Chao Jifei. There were rumors that the Radiant Church Master once said that if Jing Qian returned with a beauty, he would immediately pass the position of Radiant Church Master to Jing Qian. From this, it could be seen how important Chao Jifei was. Recently, Chao Jifei didn't go into seclusion. Therefore, Jing Qian appeared in the Tripod City. If it wasn't for the fact that Chao Jifei hated people following her around, he would have already come to the alchemy department. Jing Qian was a refined and handsome man. When he heard about the scandal between Chao Jifei and Yang Wu, he couldn't remain calm. Could it be that Jifei has been attracted to that brat? A top-notch saint alchemist in his early 20s. If I were a woman, I would also be moved. Jing Qian waved his white fan and muttered. He walked towards the alchemy department. Jin Yuchen was a domineering young man. He wasn't an alchemist and hadn't reached the Astral Rune Realm. Compared to the two people before him, he was much weaker. He was only at the peak of the Dragon Transformation Realm. However, he was younger than the two people before him. He was only 58 years old. He was only a few years older than Chao Jifei. He could be considered someone of the same age as Chao Jifei and had his own unique advantages. Jin Yuchen wasn't the holy son of the Kunlun Mountains. He had always been an unknown disciple of the Kunlun Mountains. The only thing that was noteworthy was that he had a twin brother, Jin Yuhao. The two of them looked alike and were called Golden Boys. The main reason was that they were handsome enough and were liked by the female disciples of the sect. Before they were 30 years old, they were the same as the disciples of the Kunlun Mountains. Their performance was average. They weren't very outstanding, but they didn't fall behind ordinary geniuses either. It wasn't until after they were 30 years old that the two brothers seemed to have obtained some kind of inheritance. Their strength was like a dry well that erupted with astonishing potential. Their realms rapidly increased, and they quickly surpassed some of the top geniuses in the sect. They squeezed into the ranks of the peerless geniuses. They were also heavily nurtured by the Kunlun Mountains and received the title of Chun Hao Twin Dragons. After Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao both entered the Dragon Transformation Realm, they went their separate ways in search of their own opportunities. The two of them were people with great fortune. Their strength was soaring. The two brothers agreed to return to the Kunlun Mountains before the start of the Dragon Phoenix rankings. They had to obtain the title of Dragon Emperor on the Heavenly Dragon rankings. 2 years ago, Jin Yuchen returned to Ding City first. This place was very close to the Kunlun Mountains. He could return whenever he wanted. However, after he met Chao Jifei here, he bowed under her skirt and declared that he would marry this woman. Chapter 941. Alchemy Department's 36th Pavilion. This was the largest medicine pavilion in the Alchemy Department. It occupied a large area and had 7 floors. Just the first floor alone occupied an area of 3 acres. The space on this floor was very large. The pavilions on the upper floors were smaller. Such a large pavilion was quite rare. Even as the dean of the Alchemy Department, Old Zue could only stay on the 4th floor. The first 3 floors were only open when the Alliance Master and Vice Alliance Master were present. The items on the 3rd floor were all divine grade items, and were sealed with powerful seals. Even an ingress realm expert would die if they tried to force their way in. Now, Old Man Zue was sitting on the 4th floor. There were very few pills on this floor and even fewer herbs. However, every single one of them was a top saint-tier item. Every single one of them was priceless. It was difficult to find them outside. This floor was also open to ordinary people. Only the Alliance's holy elders or big shots could come here. At this moment, other than Old Man Zue, there was another old man on this floor. This old man had a tall and sturdy figure with well-developed muscles and a full beard. He looked very much like a powerful general on the battlefield. He only wore a thin vest and there were many scars on his body. It was a shocking sight. He was the pavilion master of the 36th pavilion, Xianyuan Badeo. This name was very domineering. Just like his name, he had an extremely fiery temper. After staying here for so many years, he had slightly restrained himself. As early as 1,000 years ago, Xianyuan Badeo's name had spread throughout the transcendent world. His talent was powerful and his battle prowess was abnormal. He had never blinked when killing people. Whoever provoked him would die. It was common for him to fight people above his level. With such a famous character and the Xianyuan clan as his backing, no one dared to go against him. He had once stepped into the first place of the bounty list. Many forces had joined forces to pay a high price for his life. At that time, he was almost killed. In the end, he didn't die, but the people who chased after him died. However, no one knew how he was expelled from the Xianyuan clan and became one of the pavilion masters of the alchemy department. It was rumored that he had a lot to do with the scandal of the Xianyuan clan 800 years ago. However, not many people knew about this scandal. Not many people knew about the inside story. Badeo, you drink heart-nourishing tea every day. Don't you feel bored? Come, try the 8 drunken immortals that I got from a little guy. The wine is quite strong. Old Man Zui said casually to Xianyuan Badeo and handed the wine jug to him. Xianyuan Badeo sat cross-legged on the praying mat and slowly boiled the tea. He did not even look at the drunk old man's wine as he replied, "You are still the dean of the alchemy department. Don't you feel ashamed to be drunk all day long? I've been addicted to this since I was young. I'm afraid I won't be able to quit in this lifetime." After a short pause, he asked, "So many years have passed, but you still haven't taken that half a step." Badeo Badeo. Xianyuan Badeo replied indifferently. "You didn't come back today to ask me about this, right?" "Of course not. I haven't come back for 2 years. I want to see if you've taken that step. I also want to see the situation of the alchemy department. That girl Ji-Fei is really amazing. She managed this place so well that I'm embarrassed to say that I'm the head." "Then give the head's position to that girl. You don't care about it anyway." "Care? Why wouldn't I care? That girl actually dared to talk about me in the main hall. She has no respect for her elders." "It's not like you don't know that girl's personality. She always acts for the public. She will never act selfishly. Why do you need to lower yourself to her level?" "I don't have time to lower myself to her level. This time, I brought back an interesting boy. I want to recommend him to senior brother. That's why I came to ask if you know senior brother's whereabouts. Don't tell me you don't know. Senior brother has always trusted you." "Is it that boy called Yang Wu?" "Yes. You've heard about him, right? What do you think? When did such an excellent alchemist appear in the Yang clan?" Yang Wu followed Chao Ji-Fei to the 33 medicine pavilions. There were pills recommended by Chao Ji-Fei here, such as the Arhat Golden Pill, Nirvana Pill, Colored Glaze Saint Pill. These were all pills that were unique to various forces. Some alliances did not even have the pill formulas. They could only cooperate with the other party and ask the other party to provide them for trade. Only the Alchemist Alliance was qualified to ask them to do so. Other forces could forget about it. Yang Wu's alchemy skills were not bad, but some of the pills here were not something he could refine. Without the pill formulas, No matter how skilled an alchemist was, it would be useless. Chao Jifei brought him here not only to see these pills, but also because Yang Wu wanted to trade the saint pills in his hands. Just now, at the 28 medicine pavilions, he did not have enough saint stones to buy the blood-mustering vine. As a matter of fact, he quickly asked Chao Jifei where he could buy pills here. So, he came to the 33 medicine pavilions. The pavilion master of the 33 medicine pavilions was responsible for collecting saint pills. This pavilion master was a very senior saint elder. Although he was only a copper alchemist, his alchemy skills were top-notch. He knew the value of every saint pill and rarely made mistake. It was because of this that the 33 medicine pavilions were overseen by him. Yang Wu had been refining pills for 2 months in the family. 10 of them were saint pills. Aside from leaving most of them for the family, he also had some on him. Adding the star vein pills he refined the day before yesterday, he had a total of 30 saint pills on hand. This number was enough to crush many saint alchemists. Others could only refine 2 or 3 saint pills at most, but he could refine 5 or 6 saint pills. This was twice as many as others. This was why he was better than others. Yang Wu took out 10 saint pills and placed them in front of the pavilion master. "Pavilion master, I want to sell these pills. Please give me a price." "Yang Wu, don't call me that. Just call me Old Yen. In 2 days your position will be above mine. Calling me pavilion master is too much for this old man." The sparsely haired old man in front of him said with a smile. The pavilion master of the 33 medicine pavilions, Old Yen, was an honest person. He was just like his name. He had been honest his whole life and pursued the belief that suffering losses is a blessing. He had suffered many losses since he was young. The ugliest time was when his woman was slept with by his best brother. At that time, some people thought that he wouldn't have much of a future in this life and could only be a third-rate alchemist. He would stay in a small place and live a life where he wouldn't starve to death. However, honest people had their own good fortune. He gave his most precious herbs to an injured person and helped him get better. Then, his luck changed. That injured person became his benefactor and helped him grow smoothly. Even after that person died, he received a lot of attention. That was how he went from a third-rate alchemist to a high and mighty saint alchemist. Elder Yen, his rank is higher than yours, but you have more experience than him. Don't be modest. Chao Jifei had a good relationship with Old Yen, so she spoke more casually. "Little girl, the Alliance's rules can't be ignored," Old Yen said with a kind smile. "All right, hurry up and take a look at his pills. Estimate the price and directly convert them to saint stones," Chao Jifei said. I'll take a look at these saint pills. The quality must be very good," Old Yen replied and then wiped his eyes. He opened the jade bottle and began to examine the saint pills. Old Yen looked for a while and then muttered, "These 7 pills are clearly refined at the same time. They are all first tribulation saint pills and the quality is not bad. The flaw is that these pills didn't merge very well. If you look closely, there are some small cracks and spots. This should be because the cooling step wasn't done well enough. It is a pity. If it was done better, it could at least become a second tribulation saint pill. These 3-star mark pills are different. There are no flaws in the body of the pills, and they are larger than normal saint pills. This proves that the pills have a lot of weight. After going through 3 tribulations, they can be called perfect saint pills." Old Yen looked at the 3-star mark pills and praised them. Among the 3 tribulation saint pills, these were definitely the best of the best. "These are all pills that you refined. How long has it been since you refined them? Why don't I see any second tribulation saint pills?" Old Yen turned and asked Yang Wu. Yang Wu scratched his head and said, "I refined the first tribulation saint pill 3 months ago and the star mark pill the day before yesterday. I am ashamed that I don't have any second tribulation saint pills." You mean to say that you could only refine 1 tribulation saint pills 3 months ago and then 3 tribulation saint pills the day before yesterday? Old Yen asked with wide eyes. Yang Wu said honestly, something like that. Suddenly, Old Yen, Chao Jifei, Zhu Guanzhou, and Chen Jiying were all stunned. If Yang Wu was ashamed like this, how could others live? Now I find that other than the Alliance Master and this girl, there is another genius, and that is you, Yang Wu. Old Yen exclaimed. Chao Jifei said from the side, I'm not as good as him. Yang Wu was a little embarrassed by the praise, he said. This pill can be refined seriously, I can't control it. Yes, this is the highest realm of pill refining. As you refine, you will understand how to refine pills. Many people don't understand this principle in their entire lives. Old Yen agreed. He didn't dwell on this problem. Everyone had their own opportunities, and it was something that others couldn't get. He gave the price of the 10 saint pills. The 7 first tribulation saint pills were worth 1,000,000 mid-grade saint stones, and each one was worth 100,000 mid-grade saint stones. The price was quite fair. And the 3 third tribulation saint pills were worth 50,000 high-grade saint stones each, which was equivalent to 500,000 mid-grade saint stones. In total, they were worth 2,500,000 mid-grade saint stones. When Old Yen reported this price, Qing Feng, who was beside Yang Wu, was completely stunned. She had earned 50,000 high-grade saint stones with great difficulty and felt that she was already very rich, but it was only worth 1/3 tribulation star mark pill. The gap between rich and poor was too big. Chapter 942. Yang Wu's alchemist level had risen too quickly. Along the way, he didn't even have the time to appreciate the market prices of the various grades of pills before he directly stepped onto the highest peak. This also caused him to lack knowledge of the value of pills. When he heard Yen Laosher's price, he was also stunned. This price is a bit higher than the ones outside, but it's also a bit cheaper than the auction house. If you think it's suitable, I'll take it. Or if you like any other pills or saint items, you can deduct it. Yen Laosher explained to Yang Wu honestly. Yang Wu came back to his senses and replied, Suitable, very suitable. It's much higher than I thought. Chao Jifei looked at Yang Wu's anxious appearance and smiled. Looks like you really just became a saint alchemist not long ago. Today was definitely the day she smiled the most in recent years. Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jiying thought so. Haha, looks like you're also an honest person. Yen Laosher laughed. Yang Wu also laughed. He felt like an idiot. A dignified saint alchemist had lost his composure for a few pills. After Yang Wu exchanged for the holy stone, he walked around and found a demon phoenix saint pellet. This was actually a demon phoenix saint pellet, and the value of this demon phoenix saint pellet was not inferior to his 3 tribulation star mark pellet. Qing Feng also saw it and couldn't take her eyes off it. She was from the Qing Luan clan and had the bloodline of the Phoenix clan in her body. If she could obtain this demon phoenix saint pill, it would be a great help to her. Yang Wu didn't say anything and took out another star mark pill to exchange for the demon phoenix saint pill. He then passed it to Qing Feng. Sister Feng, it's yours. It's been hard on you. Qing Feng was so moved that she couldn't speak. She already had enough saint stones to buy it, but Yang Wu took it first and gave it to her. Other than her grandmother, he was the second person to treat her so well. Before Qing Feng could express her gratitude, Yang Wu turned to Chao Jifei and asked, It's just a tribulation 1 pill. Why is it worth as much as a tribulation 3 pill? Chao Jifei explained, The refining method of this demon-grade saint pellet is not brilliant, but its materials are more precious. It requires the Phoenix clan's Saint Demon core to be able to refine such a pill. How can its price not be high? So that's how it is. Yang Wu suddenly understood. See if there's anything else you need. If there's nothing else, shall we continue walking? Chao Jifei asked. Sure, it's all thanks to you. I'll treat you to a meal when we get out, Yang Wu said. Alright, since you've earned so many saint stones today, we can go straight to the Cauldron Food Hall and have a good drink. Chao Jifei lightly waved her fist in response. When Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jiying saw her like this, they didn't know how to describe their feelings. They both believed that their young miss had a good impression of Yang Wu. Otherwise, why would she be so easy to talk to? At this moment, a voice sounded from outside. Ji Fei, why don't I treat you to this meal? A sloppy man walked in from outside the door. His whole body was suffused with a strong smell of medicine, as if he had just walked out of a medicine vat. The smell was especially pungent. Everyone's gaze turned towards him, only to see a dazzling bronze badge hanging in front of his chest. Clearly, he was a saint alchemist. Yang Wu felt that there were as many saint alchemists as dogs in this place. How could anyone who walked out of here be a saint alchemist? His pride was almost gone. When Chao Jifei saw who it was, she frowned slightly, and a trace of disdain flashed past her beautiful eyes. Everyone was a saint alchemist, and the medicinal fragrance emitted from other people's bodies could make people feel close to them, but the medicinal fragrance of this guy in front of her was pungent and unpleasant. It was really unbearable. Chao Jifei was not a person who disliked ugly people, but she loved cleanliness and did not like this kind of sloppy man. Even if he was not bad-looking and had excellent conditions, she just did not like him. From the very first day she saw Danli, she did not have a good impression of him. A person who could not even take care of himself, living with him in the future, wouldn't that mean that she had to take care of him? This was obviously impossible, which was why she said that he would chase after her after he became a divine alchemist. She did not really have such high expectations, but just wanted to set up a threshold for some of her pursuers. Her goal was to become someone like her master, and her man had to be at least half as outstanding as her master in order to move her heart. Ever since she followed her master, her eyes had become picky. From time to time, she would compare the men who pursued her with her master. It was simply a world of difference. She simply stopped thinking about feelings and focused on improving her strength and alchemy level. She made an exception and strolled around the alchemy department with Yang Wu, purely to admire Yang Wu's ability. He was very similar to her master in one aspect. Not only was he good at alchemy, he could also rely on his own ability to resist the heavenly thunder. This was something that many alchemists could not do, especially the higher the level of alchemists, the more they would not dare to do so. Her master had a secret method to resist the heavenly thunder and had also passed it on to her. However, that kind of abnormal body tempering method was difficult for a woman like her to endure. Over the years, she had desperately cultivated, but at most, she could only rely on her own body to resist the first wave of heavenly thunder. When it came to the second wave, she had to rely on external help. Yang Wu could resist 3 waves of heavenly thunder with his own strength, which was enough to be comparable to her senior brother. Her senior brother was the man closest to her master. Chao Jifei admired Yang Wu, but that did not mean that she liked him. It was just that others thought too much about it. No need, Yang Wu will treat me. Chao Jifei faintly replied to Danli. You like him? Danli looked at Yang Wu and asked straightforwardly. Danli was not aware of the conflict between Yang Wu and Xing Yasheng. He was still wearing his bronze and silver badge, while the golden-green badge would be bestowed to Yang Wu during the conferring ceremony. Danli saw Yang Wu's bronze badge and his eyes shrunk, but there was not the slightest change in his expression. Alchemists of the same level were also divided into rank. Chao Jifei replied, Who I like has nothing to do with you. Can you stop pestering me? Chao Jifei was very direct with her words to Danli. She really did not like Danli. She had already rejected him many times, but he still persevered. It really gave her a headache. Jifei, I don't care who you like now, and I don't mind. When I become a divine alchemist, you will understand my feelings for you. Danli looked at Chao Jifei and said seriously. Then he turned to look at Yang Wu and asked, I am DanClan's Danli, and I am also one of the Alliance's holy elders. I just heard Ji Fei say that you are Yang Wu. I see that you are still very young, but to be able to become a bronze-grade holy alchemist, you must be a new holy elder. State your conditions. What will it take for you to leave Chao Ji Fei? Don't pester her anymore, she is not someone you can touch. Danli's words were very direct. Just like when he was refining pills, he did his best to finish it in one go. That condescending aura was quite intimidating. If it was an ordinary holy alchemist, they would have been frightened by his intimidating aura. Yang Wu was not scared. Moreover, after hearing the Dan clan's name, he was even less afraid. Yang Wu was just about to reply when a voice came from outside the door. Li is right, Ji Fei is not someone you can touch. Go back to where you came from. Another young-looking man appeared in the 33 medicine pavilions. He was like the rising sun, instantly illuminating the entire medicine pavilion. Just as he stepped in, a handsome young man with blonde hair also stepped in. He smiled faintly and said, I'll also join in the fun. The appearance of two handsome young men with their own merits affected the few alchemists in the medicine pavilion. They couldn't help but look over. A guard in the medicine pavilion looked at Yen Laosher, asking the pavilion master if he should stop them. Yen Laosher shook his head and said, Young people's matters should be settled by the young people. After saying this, he quietly sat on a rocking chair and adjusted his posture to watch the show. He didn't seem to be worried that these young people would make a big deal out of it. After Chao Jifei saw the two people, her charming face became ugly. Her good mood was turned into a mess by them. I didn't expect you to be so popular. Yang Wu looked at Chao Jifei and smiled. He didn't wait for Chao Jifei to reply and immediately said loudly, Don't be impulsive. I'm innocent with her. This is our first interaction. I'm just lucky that Miss Chao took me around the medicine pavilion. After Yang Wu finished speaking, Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jiying couldn't help but reveal a look of disdain. They thought, so he's a coward. He wasted the mistime. Chao Jifei was stunned for a moment. Then, her good impression of Yang Wu quickly disappeared. He was so anxious to cut ties with her. He was too timid. Let's go. Chao Jifei said to Zhu Guanzhou and Chen Jiying beside her. She didn't want to stay here for a second longer. These people in front of her were all very outstanding, but how could she not see them? She wasn't in the mood to talk about love. Chao Jifei, don't be like this. It's rare for us to meet. I'm planning to buy a batch of pills here. Take me around. The Son of Light, Jing Qian, came in front of Chao Jifei and said, If you want to buy pills, just find the pavilion elder here. I'm not in the mood to accompany you. Chao Jifei said coldly. Jifei, why do you have to keep people 1,000 miles away? I do have improper thoughts, but I didn't offend you. Let's start as friends. I believe that one day you will be moved by me. Jing Qian gently waved the white paper fan and said with a modest face. That charming smile could almost be compared to Lu Ji's. Yang Wu admitted that Jing Qian was a very handsome and refined man. Compared to Dan Li, he was more attractive to women. The blond young man on the side had a smile on his face. He didn't say anything, but no one dared to ignore his existence. Yang Wu saw the same temperament as Yang Ba from this blond young man. They were both domineering and didn't hide their personalities. You're really a coward. The blond young man felt Yang Wu's gaze and said with disdain.